Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing, keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right, cause it can get big right, cause it can get big right. Ay, please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat a submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk like the show. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing, keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right, cause it can get big right, cause it can get big right.
What's goody? Salute to everybody in the building. One more game. What's good, family? What's good, peoples? I see some people already in the building. I know we creeping in. Everybody live today. Everybody politicking today. The news is doing what the news is doing. It's fight week, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday. We about 48 hours away from, maybe a little less than 48 hours away from the actual big heavyweight showdown between our guy Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. But outside of that and that great undercard getting ready to happen, rumors are spinning around in the space, huh? And I didn't go up on Tuesday. I was so tired, bro. I've just been so busy. Bro, when I'm telling you I'm working crazy today. By the way, I will be putting the link early in the chat today. We can do open panels today because I'm so exhausted, man. I'm gonna need me somebody out there to come and build with the kids. So I'm gonna throw that out early. Just feel free to hit the link whenever you feel like it. Salute to No Problem in the building. Stock Chases in the building. What's good, man? I see you guys in the chat. I see people creeping into the building. Of course, as you're stepping into the building, take a moment, hit the like button. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up, man. Support the grind, man. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, of course, do that as well. But yeah, so Devin Haney, Bill Haney on social media, doing what he does. And guys, listen, Bill Haney does not waste his time on social media. This man is a very strategic type of person, man. You know what I mean? Just every move he does is well calculated. So of course, anytime he comes out on social media and starts putting out little fire tag words and things of that nature, it shakes up the space, right? And we all been kind of preparing to hear this announcement with rumors spinning around the space about what Devin Haney is going to do, and his, that is potentially maybe a Zufa boxing partnership coming out. And you see Bill Haney come out talking about $100 million. How many people in the space can give out $100 million? I mean, is Matchroom handing out $100 million? Is PBC handing out $100 million? You know what I'm saying? Is Top Rank handing out $100 million? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's handing out $100 million outside of Turkey, potentially handing out $100 million? So obviously, listen, I get it, right? We can connect the dots, but at best, the way this space has us is we're going to be speculating a little bit today. But if there is $100 million or something around that being put out there, shout out to my brother BFTB, put out a little bit of information as well as far as what this deal is looking like. You know what I mean? He put it out there, so I'm going to talk about it because he put it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the kind of guy to be sitting out here, you know what I mean, spreading rumors, but, we can talk about it because the reality is Devin Haney is the WBO welterweight champion of the world. And that's a sanctioned body last time I checked. The truth is, he's not on the for boxing. Listen, if the truth is he signed a super boxing, then we got other things to talk about because we don't count people's pockets, right? So $100 million is really not even the news. Like, I don't even care about $100 million. But the reality is every single week as things are developing in this space, we keep getting closer and closer and closer to a real inconvenient truth. And I emphasize on inconvenient truth for the rest of the boxing space. And when I'm talking about the rest of the boxing space, I'm talking about Top Rank, Matchroom, Golden Boy. I'm talking about anybody on that traditional side of the boxing space who was hoping that Zufa boxing was all about a Zufa boxing belt and that it was going to be an island. Well, the more and more things are developing in this whole entire situation, it seems like we're getting closer and closer and closer to finding out a very inconvenient truth. And that inconvenient truth is that Zufa boxing ain't only operating on a boxing league. That's not all they doing, ladies and gentlemen. That's not all they doing, bro. They working with some people who don't really care about no Zufa boxing belt. You know what I mean? They're working with people who have aspirations of unification, undisputed, lineal championships. They're working with people with sanctioning body belts. They're negotiating for their fighters to fight for sanctioning body belts. Now, there's a narrative going on around the space. Come on, let's be honest. The narrative is you go over there to Zufa, then part of the contract with Zufa is you don't get an opportunity to fight for none of those belts. But here we are again, right? We saw Jai Opetaia come in with the IBF, and I get it. Jai Opetaia was stripped by the IBF. But what is the argument that we're really trying to make here? What is the real conversation that we're really trying to have here? Maybe I'll tell you what the conversation is. The conversation is Zufa boxing as against the sanctioning bodies as people think it is? Listen, I got into it the other night with Angelo. We was talking, and I was telling him, I was representing the space. I said, Angelo, it's confusing, bro. We can't be mad at these fans for being confused with what's going on with Zufa boxing. Dana White came out and said he ain't dealing with no sanctioning bodies. So what you want me to say? And Angelo going crazy. You know how Angelo get, Bro, but it's obvious. Don't you see it? Who promoted Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford? I said, I know, Angelo. Bro, I know, bro. I'm just saying it's confusing. I'm saying, of course, David Benavidez is confused about what's going on over there because Dana White gets up on the stage and he says, we will not recognize the sanctioning body belts. Y'all heard it. I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one who heard him say it. But then we see him sign Jai Opetaia and try to have an IBF sanctioned body championship fight on Zufa. 4-3, right? I think it was 4. IBF didn't like it. They don't like how the belt was propped up next to the Zufa belt. So they stripped Jai Opetaia. Now, is that a bump in the road or is that policy? Because, okay, fine, right? Let's say it's policy. But then they go and they sign Conor Benn. And Conor Benn's trying to get a fight with Ryan Garcia for a WBC title. Hold on, bro. They don't recognize the sanctioning bodies. What is Conor Benn signing a 5-fight deal with Zufa Boxing doing, trying to get into a purse bid with Ryan Garcia for a WBC title? I'm just saying. Now, I know Mauricio Sulaiman might stand on his square and he might not want to deal with. I get it, right? I'm telling you, I'm arguing with Angelo last night about this shit, fighting for y'all. I'm sitting here like, Angelo, nah, bro, it's diabolical, bro. It's confusing, man. You can't be mad at these fans. You can't be mad at David Benavidez. This dude is bugging, man. What? I don't understand what he's doing. Then he signs Richardson Hitchens. Lord child.
What? You want it to be one way.
Man, I
You
don't
want
know
it
what
to be
you-
one
Man,
way.
stop. Stop saying that.
But it's the other way.
Is it the other way? You know, you ever hear that saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too? I don't know if that falls in line with Zufa Boxing. I don't know if Zufa Boxing follows that code, because you got Conor Benn trying to fight for a belt. You got Richardson Hitchens, who came over with his IBF belt. Granted, Richardson Hitchens vacated the belt because he's going to 147, right? I know people want to link it like, nah, he vacated the belt because you're not allowed to have that belt at Zufa. If that's what you want to say, even though we don't have no evidence of that being the case, what was put out into the media space is that he vacated his belt and he's moving to 147. I don't know. You might be right. Okay, fine. Well, now, if he signs Devin Haney, bro, who's already been on record saying that the belts are important to him, and he's coming over with a WBO title, is Devin Haney going to vacate that belt? And if Devin Haney does not vacate that WBO title, Lord child, shout out to Two-Tone. Lord child, shout out to Two-Tone. If Devin Haney comes over into Zufa Boxing, signs this huge deal with all this monies, with all the monions involved with it, with a WBO title, defending his WBO title, whenever he gets in the ring, promoted under a Zufa banner, guys, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying. Hey, you want to shoot it down? The link is out there, bro. I see you in the back, Alberto. I see my brother Angelo in the back too, but I'm bringing the conversation to the forefront. I am bringing the conversation to the forefront because I think people have been speaking very boldly about contracts and what's inside of a contract. I had somebody the other day come in one of my videos and put in the comment section, it's in Zufa's contract that you can't fight for sanctioning body belts. I said, what the hell? I'm looking online. I'm scrolling. I'm Googling. I'm trying to find me a Zufa contract that I can. I asked him to send me a copy of a Zufa contract so I could take a look at it. I ain't hear from him since. He kind of went quiet. I guess I wasn't worth responding to. You know what I mean? He was going to waste his time with little old me. But last time I checked, none of us had a copy of a Zufa boxing contract to take a look at. And I haven't seen Zufa deny any fighter from competing in the sanctioned bodies. I've seen the sanctioned bodies stand there square. Well, IBF. I've seen the IBF stand on their square about how they feel about it. And from what I understand, there may be some courtroom situations happening, trying to figure that out and get those wrinkles ironed out so we all can get on the same page. But at the end of the day, it seems like we're getting closer and closer and closer to Zufa Boxing and the sanctioning bodies working together. And if that is the case, if you'll entertain me for a moment, if it is the case that Zufa Boxing is going to have their cake and eat it too, that they will be operating and moving a machine, a league for fighters who want to be in a league and be active 3-4 times a year in a league, working their way up to a Zufa belt, whatever. But then you got fighters like Devin Haney who can find a home in Zufa. Richardson Hitchens can find a home at Zufa. Edgar Berlanga could find a home at Zufa and they're not even looking at these belts. Jao Pataya could find a home at Zufa and still be trying to go for unifications, still trying to become undisputed. Then what's stopping a Shakur from going to Zufa? What's stopping them? What's stopping I would say Tank Davis, but I know that would drive everybody crazy, and I don't even believe that. I ain't gonna lie to you, so I ain't going to say Tank Davis. But what's stopping Floyd Schofield Jr. from going over to Zufa? What's stopping a Rohan Polanco from going over to Zufa Boxing? If there's no roadblocks, if you can go to Zufa and still operate and compete and be a sanctioned body fighter, if you can go to Zufa and not be interested in the league, is Zufa promoting outside of the league? Is there a league? And then is it a choice? I don't. Guys, we could talk about it today, man, because we definitely got to talk about that. We definitely got to talk about Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley. I think this is going to be a very interesting fight, right? I think we gotta talk about a little bit. Daniel Dubois looking a little off his square, or is it the complete opposite? Is Daniel Dubois actually dialed in, and this is what he looks like dialed in? I don't know how to read it. You guys will help me read it. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that. Fabio Wardley doesn't have a care in the world. Is he sleeping? Is he playing like he's sleeping? Is he psyching himself out? This will definitely be the highest level of fighter that he's been in the ring with. I know what you guys want to say. You want to go to Joseph Parker and say, nah, Joseph Parker. Hey, but Joseph Parker came into that ring 263 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. Well, probably more than that, to be honest with you, because the day before he weighed in at 263. Came into the Martin Bacoli fight 267. He has never fought that heavy before those two fights. What's that all about? Was that the real Joseph Parker we saw in the ring with Fabio Wardley? That heavy guy who was stepping to Fabio Wardley, trading with him. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Daniel Dubois is a different animal. We're going to talk about him today as well, because for a man that's been in the ring since he was 9 years old, won all types of amateur type awards and youth leagues and been boxing his whole life. And he's the youngest heavyweight champion in British boxing history. This guy was thought to be the next coming of Lennox Lewis. I ain't say that. They said that. That's in the UK. That's how they were talking about him. Yeah, we got to talk about him. We got to talk about Fabio Wardley. We got to talk about Fabio Wardley. We got to talk about David Morrell. It's about that time, David. Yeah, it's about that time, man. You've been in this light heavyweight division. This will be your fourth fight into the light heavyweight division. Have we seen David Morrell of 168 is gone? Or was he asleep? Will he return Saturday? Will we see David Morrell return? And if he returns, wow. I mean, the light heavyweight division just continues to get more and more interesting, right? We ain't got to talk about what David Benavidez, maybe the king of the light heavyweight division right now. I know Bivol's out there. I know Better Biev is out there. I know. Maybe I'm triggering some of you guys. I'm just saying the light heavyweight division is cooking. David Morrell, the 168-pound David Morrell shows up at 175. Light heavyweight division gets a lot more interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the 168 version, not the guy who fought Kataev, not the guy who fought David Benavidez. Maybe that guy a little bit. Not the guy who fought Hot Rod. I'm talking about 168 David Morrell. Talking about another David Morrell. If y'all, I know it's been a while. Maybe you might have to bring up some old videos just to remind you guys who David Morrell used to be. If that guy shows up this weekend, yeah, that part. And then we got my guy, Jack Rafferty, stepping in there with Echo Usman. We could talk about that as well, for sure. For sure. Echo Usman coming off that loss stoppage to Jack Catterall. Jack Rafferty coming off that draw call against my guy, Mark Chamberlain. Yeah. We could talk about all that. All that and then some, man, but not without my guy, man. Before we get it going, man, guys, remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Let's build on this boxing, man. Shout out to my guy, Angelo Reyes in the building, man. Y'all clap. Y'all clap. Jello. I told him he was throwing at me last night, bro, about this goddamn Zufa shit, man. Screaming on me, bro. I'm over here trying to represent these fans. Trying to be like, you got to be cool, dog, bro. You got to be patient with these fans. You got to be patient with these fighters. Angelo's like, man, hell no. Common sense? Come on, man. Common sense. He's here. He can speak for himself. I ain't got to fucking do this shit. Go ahead, man. You talk to him.
Hey man, I don't got to speak for nothing. You saying a lot, bro. You saying a lot. All I know, guys, is that this channel got a lot of hate last year when we were talking about what Zufa was going to do. I've had some private conversations with Clay about it last year. And, now he's talking about our private conversation last night. But I see how you want to move it today. All right.
Just want to tell him
the only thing I was ever wrong about that I basically exposed to the channel and let everybody know when people started calling Clay Zufa Clay, because obviously Clay was telling actual news that was starting to happen, projections that were happening. And then you guys want to give him that name. And I think it's unfair, man, because you guys surely should just be calling Clay Boxing Clay. He's just being honest about boxing, but whatever, man. And you guys were calling me Reyes White. That's fine. I'm cool with that too. I don't really care. But what was it? Clay, in January, I said, hey, man, Haney might sign to Zufa, right? The minute Bill Haney said, yeah, we want that Zufa belt too. What did I say? But then we left it alone, right? Because the space getting mad at me. Space is getting mad, Clay. All right. And then what did I say 4 weeks ago? Yeah, Haney signing to Zufa, y'all. And then what, Clay? Right now it's news.
Well, it's still rumors. It's still rumors.
Okay, whatever. Sure, it's rumors, man. It's probably the funniest rumor that Tio Fimo Lopez is sitting there trying to tweet about it before even Devin does, because Tio's sitting across a desk from Devin Haney with Max Kellerman staring at both of them. And hey, Tio, who'd you like to fight in the future? That guy. And what Devin do? Devin wasn't like all mad about it. He was like, yeah, man, because we already know, bro. We already know. It's fine. It's all good. But hey, man, you guys want to pull up and ask questions? All I can do is actually give you facts. Fact of the matter is, though, I don't know, man. That pay-per-view this past weekend that, shout out to David Benavidez for trying to hold his own, but good Lord, man, I really hope he gets more and more factual
information
because he went on well, I just want to say this and I'll let you go, Kelly, but he went on the Ariel Helwani show and it was better. Claymore, I will tell you that it was better. But the problem still is, David, you're not a statistical figures guy. So please don't say dumb shit like there was 18,000 people sold out at T-Mobile, because the reports came out, bro. You sold less than 10,000 seats. You only had 143,000 people due to pay-per-view buys. Just don't say any figures. We believe you. You're one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. You don't need to ever say no figures to prove how awesome you are, David. Everybody's going to rock with you. So please, your old buddy Angelo was trying to tell you, you don't got to say no figures. You don't got to get into the business. Please, bro, just be David Benavidez. Monstro. You'll fight anyone. That's the guy we love. Don't worry about none of these other. Let the other motherfuckers figure that out. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it.
Hold on one second here, man. Shout out to my brother J Pitt City in the building. I could appreciate that, man. Says, let's be real. Ja did it for the money. Dana's going to want a huge slice and control for DB or for David Benavidez versus Ja. We didn't even get Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. That's MMA. J Pitt, man, listen, man. Now, I'm going to say this, right? UFC's UFC, boxing is boxing, right? Don't confuse what the UFC did after they got a hold and they had a monopoly over a sport. Well, not a monopoly because there was other organizations, but when they earned the right to be the biggest name in the game, how they moved in comparison to what will happen now when they're trying to shake up the whole game. This is a different playground for Dana White. And that's why even the confusion is there, because Dana's reacting and dealing with real-time data, and he's moving accordingly. Not to mention Nick Khan is involved with this. Not to mention Zufa is not Dana's, right? Dana is an employee, a salaried employee who runs Zufa Boxing. Nick Khan, this is a whole entire different situation. So don't never get it twisted. Winning is the name of the game. And if you're hearing about $100 million deal going on with Devin Haney, or you're hearing anything about $15 million going to Conor Ben, that already, it's pissing off the fighters at the UFC, right? The fighters at the UFC, that already shows you they moving different. They're willing to move different. What they're not willing to do is lose. What they're not willing to do is not compete. What they're not willing to do is be made to look stupid. So just don't be surprised if you get surprised. You know what I mean? That's all I can tell you. Just take it from me. Don't be surprised if you get surprised. But I'm going to tell you once again, if Devin Haney brings that WBO title over to Zufa Boxing, listen to me, bro. There will be a sanctioned body champion at Zufa. And I'm saying if the WBO is on board, if they're like, hey, I don't care as long as he's paying his sanctioning fees, as long as if he has a mandatory, he's handling that, whatever he got going on, we don't care. Once that belt is underneath the banner of Zufa Boxing, guys, that is such a big move. You'll see. Maybe you just don't see the writing on the wall. You'll see for sure, man. I promise you, bro. That is a powerful move, bro. Shout out to JP City with the next 5. Says in a few years we may possibly have Whitaker, Shiraz, Najee Lopez, and Fedor all in one division. 175 will be okay. You talking about with David Morrell? Yeah, 175 is fire right now, bro. 175 is fire, bro. I'm telling you, bro. And I love what you're saying with the Shiraz because Najee's already there. Whitaker, wait, Najee Lopez is 175, right? Yeah, Najee's at 175. Whitaker's already there. Fedor, yeah, I guess he'll get there at some point, and obviously Shiraz at some point as well. But not to mention all the other fighters that are hanging around right now, 175 that are gonna shake shit up. David Morrell's just another piece to the puzzle, man. So yeah, shout out J Pit City. Appreciate the love, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, bro. Let me shout out to the people in the building too. I didn't do that. Shout out to Stock Chasers in the building. What's good, Stock Chasers? What's good? No problem. What's good with you, man? Mine yours in the building. What's good? Mine yours. What's good? What's good, fam? Alberto in the building and in the background. I see you said $100 million is fake news, Clay. Hold on, let me bring Alberto up real quick. Let me see what Alberto got to say. Berto, what you doing, cuz?
Yow.
What's good?
Yeah, no, I just had to call in real quick. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I know show's about to be lit today. Salute Reyes, salute Clay. Yeah, so Reyes, you made an interesting point, right? You said David shouldn't be a numbers guy. Just keep up the monstro and call out these guys. Well, where's that same energy for Devin Haney? Because I'm here to tell you guys, there's no way in hell he signed a $100 million deal with Zufa Boxing. They don't have those kinds of paydays over there. So if we're just going to throw out numbers, then what are we doing, right? I like to have integrity. And, that $100 million call out by Bill Haney, I thought it was nasty work. And like Clay, like Ray has said, right, the Haneys don't really have anywhere else to go. The PBCs doesn't want to work with them. They burned their bridges with Eddie. They burned their bridges with Oscar. And so, yeah, I could see them. I think they are going to Zufa. And I think, having Dev and Tio on the ring show, that wasn't by coincidence, right? And so that's pretty much my thing is I want to get your guys' take because I know you guys are really do this boxing shit. Do you guys really think Devin Haney signed to Zufa for $100 million?
Hey, first of all, can I just say, Alberto, I love your mic, bro. I don't know what you did. I don't know if you got a new phone. This is absolutely great, man.
You do it right because he over at ATP, man. He just know to do it right.
No, so thank you for that, Alberto. No, you sound great.
I won't tell Johnny over here with the mics and shit, bro. I won't tell Johnny.
And Alberto, man, you're one of our favorite guys because what's important is that everybody's engaging. Right. And everybody wants to know this and everybody wants to know that. But at the end of the day, man, I try to always tell everyone at ATP Combat, you guys will always see us consistently just talking about boxing, period. And what we like to do here is we hold people accountable. Right. Like, hey, you're accountable for this. You're accountable for that. Right. But to your question is what Bill Haney said. And in fact, Clay, can you find the tweet so that we can just put it out? He didn't say that he signed for $100 million. What he said is by 30 years old, already $100 million, something like that, right? So, and you guys have been asking me. I mean, even on our last live, Clay made it an open panel, and then one of our guys, I think it was No Problem or Nostalgic, at the very end, he's like, come on, man, can you just let us know? Like, and it's like, it's the worst kept secret in boxing right now, Alberto, man. Haney is you guys will see an announcement soon. The numbers are going to be the numbers, and that's not really what's going to be the issue. I think that the better question will be, why isn't the other space trying to do more for these fighters to make the fights that they say they want to make? Do better, right? So, because if you think about it, Alberto, Conor Benn, he had a first right of refusal clause on his contract too. Eddie Hearn didn't want to match it. Bam Rodriguez had the same first right of refusal. Zufa made him a fat offer, Alberto. Fat. Bam signed that shit. He was like, I'm ready to go. Thank you, Zufa. And guess what? Eddie Hearn said, nuh-uh, I'll match that. All right, cool. So what did Zufa really do for him, Alberto? He just upped his paycheck because the original offer that Eddie gave him was lower. Why are you guys messing around with these fighters? That's what I'm trying to say, Alberto. Why are you, if you want the fighter, make your best offer. If somebody beats your offer, then that's fair game. But don't play around with these fighters, man. Don't like sit there and say, hey, like Eddie Hearn got a lot to say about Devin. He got a lot to say about Devin. But you know what? You did the very same thing with Devin, and you admitted it. You said when you guys paid for Canelo and Devin, you needed them to look legitimate in the USA. So now it's not okay for someone else to do it too? Like now all of us, now again, I'm not saying Eddie's not saying it's not okay. I'm saying that these guys, Conor Benn, Teofimo Lopez, Edgar Berlanga, Richardson Hitchens, Otto Wallen, Jack Massey, Chev Clark, Christian Williams-Smith, like they're seeing Mark Magsayo, Rayo Valenzuela. You're seeing more and more and more of recognizable names to the zone space all coming over to Zufa. And there are a lot of people like Shakur Stevenson trying to even give you hints that, of course, he'd want to sign to Zufa, right? There's no problem here. It's a free market, bro. So my question, Alberto, is if you're Queensberry, Eddie Hearn, PBC, Golden Boy, Top Rank, why don't you guys just make your absolute best offer right off the grip so that the loyalty is never even questioned? But the minute you make a weak offer and then Zufa comes in and offers 3 times the amount you offered, you guys are sitting there acting like Zufa did something wrong. So I'm just saying, it's a free market, Alberto, and everybody should be willing to sign through whoever they want. Go ahead, brother. Sorry I was so long-winded.
No, that was really insightful. So here's the thing, though, right? So it's a little bit different. When Eddie Hearn was entering Matchroom USA, he did overpay. Like you said, he overpaid for Mikey Garcia. He overpaid for Jesse Vargas. He overpaid for a lot of these cats. But the difference is Eddie didn't have the kind of like network deal that Dana White and Paramount, they have Paramount in their back pocket. So, and they supposedly hired Dana White, a guy who's battle tested, who's done this at a high level already with the UFC. So I think that's a little bit of a different comparison. That's just my opinion. So like you're trying to say, okay, maybe Zufa's going to overpay for Devin because they want some credibility. Devin on paper is, looking like he's a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, and a very accomplished boxer, very decorated, right? But to me, I just don't appreciate floating those numbers out there because to me, it does more damage. It's doing more destroying than building. And let me explain why. So we all saw, like you just said, right, Reyes? Why don't all these promoters just put out their best offer? That's literally what the bid was. When Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin was ordered, that went to a bid. With a bid, Reyes, everyone pays what they think the fight is worth. And we saw Dev's real market value is, closer to $2 million, $3 million kind of fighter. I mean, if we go historically, Devin's biggest payday was probably against Ryan, right? That fight, he probably earned what? Close to 10? I don't know if he's ever even had a $10 million payday, if we're being real. I know against Norman, it was speculated that he got anywhere from 6 to 8 million. And so when Bill Haney goes on social media and says, Devin Haney, 100 million before 30. I mean, the dude's 28. So what's he saying? That Devin's going to sign? Devin's supposed to earn like 80 million, 70 million in the next 2 years. I don't even think, like, respectfully, the Devin Haney lineage like would amount to 100 million. Like, do you guys know how hard it is to generate $100 million fights? Like, there's only Canelos, Tanks, Jake Paul's, AJ's. Like, it's not a lot of fighters that can do that. Not even Ryan, I would say, is like gonna be that kind of fighter. And so to me, when the Haneys go on social media and say, "Oh, 100 million," like, why put that kind of figure out there? Because to me, it just destroys the sport. It's basically trying to generate artificial bidding wars where we know he doesn't generate that kind of money. Like, when Canelo gets these guarantees, guys, it's because they think the fight will generate that from ticket sales, pay-per-views, etc., right? It's not just because, oh, we like Canelo, he has an orange beard, here's $50 million. No, it's because they know they can get it back. He's good for it. The Haneys are not that kind of level fighter. There's not that many. That's not an indictment against the Haneys, but just the matter of the fact, there's only certain $100 million kind of cats in the sport. And just one last thing, if I may, I think Zufa is it's complicated, right? Because they don't want to really, Dana came in saying we're not acknowledging the other belts, basically F the other promoters. But then it's kind of like, I think what happened was the power of the tongue. He spoke a little too quickly. I think they thought that they would have the Muhammad Ali Act amended, like, off the rip. And so now I think that's why you see kind of a little bit of contradiction, because I think they're just playing nice until the amendment passes. Once the amendment passes, guys, this shit's about to get wicked. They're going to say, F the belts. If you sign to us, it's the Zufa belt or bust. And so right now, I think it's just this little intermittent period where they're kind of like, yeah, come sign to us. We're the cool people. Yeah, you could fight for the other belts too. It's just until they get the Ali Act amended, then you guys, the gloves are going to come off. It's like when you're trying to date a girl and you're doing all the right things. You're opening the car door for her, buying her flowers and shit like that. And then once you have her and you do what you do, then you're kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the same thing that's happening with Zufa and those belts. I'm telling y'all, when they get that Ali Act amended, it's about to get wicked.
All right. I wanna push back a little bit, Alberto, right? Number one, just like when Turki Al-Sheikh came into the game and he was overpaying fighters, just like when he was doing that, people got so caught up trying to count Turki's pockets and tried to make it all about a return. And Turki wasn't even thinking about a return, right? There's different stages and different seasons in business. There's times when you're paying for a look because it's a marathon, right? I don't care about that money right now. Right now, what I'm building is a brand. I'm building something. I'm bringing a consistent quality of fight, of entertainment, of product that the fans can depend on. So when Turki Al-Sheikh went there and paid, Terrence Crawford all types of however millions of dollars to fight Israel Madrimov, he wasn't concerned about the return as much as impacting the space with Riyadh season in America. I wanted you guys to see Eminem. I paid Eminem. I overpaid for a lot of stuff. And no, I did not see the return on it the way you guys calculated, because every dollar that goes out your pocket, you're thinking about what's coming back. But when you're dealing with a certain budget and a plan and you're rolling out something, there's a different way you spend that money in comparison to when you're pinching pennies. See, Americans, we have a pinching penny mentality. We always thinking like this. So if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to us. Therefore, we'll call Devin Haney and Bill Haney. We'll call Bill Haney a liar and be like, yo, you fronting. You ain't get that much money. It's impossible. How are they going to get it back? You start thinking too hard and going too deep into a space that you're probably not as familiar with as you like to be. You're just on the outside looking in. Now, Bill Haney has a history of locking down the deals for his son. Devin Haney has been one of the highest paid fighters in the game for a while. And you know what I'm saying? Now, when you're talking about Canelo, like you said, the AJs, these are big money guys, right? But outside of that, Devin's one of the most paid guys in amongst his peers outside of Tank, right? He's one of the most paid guys. So Bill Haney has a history of not being a liar, of actually being very successful with what he's doing. Now, whether or not it's $100 million or not, I don't know, right? I know that I don't have the information to sit there and go against that and say he's lying about that. I don't have that. But this is what I will tell you, though. There's a move being made. Something is happening. Something is cooking in the background. And the bigger picture ain't the money. The bigger picture is the impact of Zufa Boxing controlling a sanctioning body belt. That's the bigger impact. I promise you that. If you open your eye, if you sit back and look at the big picture and forget about the money, don't let that get you caught up. The bigger impact is Zufa Boxing controlling a sanctioning body belt. Because what it's going to show and prove is that no, they don't have anything against working with the sanctioning bodies. Not because they need the sanctioning bodies per se, but more so because if my fighter wants it, my fighter can get it. I'm not going to get in the way of my fighter getting it. See, when the Muhammad Ali Act comes out, what it's going to do is it's going to help solidify the league. But there's no rule saying that Zufa can't operate with the league and operate outside the league. There's no rule saying that Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, the first event that Zufa Boxing ever promoted, is not legitimate. There's no rule saying that Brian, what's my guy's name? Brian Gorman. I don't want to mess his name up. Who was fighting on a Ring magazine card a couple of weeks ago in Europe, that can't happen. There's no rules that's holding Zufa back from putting in and winning a purse bid with Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia for a WBC title if it goes there. Now, if Mauricio gets in the way, he gets in the way. But at the end of the day, the intention is there, and it shows that they're working towards that direction. And that's going to make a lot of people nervous who thought that Zufa was an island, because there's a lot of people who want Zufa to be an island. But if Zufa turns out to not be an island, brother, they got the $500 million 5-year deal, whatever, $100 million a year budget. Does Golden Boy have $100 million a year budget? Does Top Rank have $100 million a year budget? Does PBC have $100 million a year budget? Let's just be honest and deal with the facts, because if Zufa's in the space able to put on sanctioned body fights, getting budgets from Paramount that none of these other promoters can get, that the zone's probably shooting them each about max 20 to 30 million a year, max. And that's probably only for the proven promotional company. That's going to be a problem out here. That's what this Devin Haney move says. That's what this potential Teofimo Lopez move says. That's what Jairo Pataya looking to go ahead and unify, still pushing to unify and become undisputed says, because he has a machine behind him. And if it turns out that in that part of the game, that's going to affect a lot of people's bottom line. Don't you think so?
Yeah, no, I hear you, Clay, and honestly, that does make a lot of sense. You know, like when a company first starts out, you know, they're operating at a loss, you know, and that's to be expected. And so it's really if they could withstand the test of time and start generating a profit. But don't you guys think that when they started the Live Golf, did you ever think Phil Mickelson or Rory McIlroy were going to think, yeah, this shit's not going to work out and we're going to have to, you know, cross back to PGA? And so I would just be very careful. I know they have the money, the power, the resources, but
who should be careful?
Just all the fighters signing to Zufa.
Why? Why would Devin Haney need to be careful if he's getting $100 million? What he need to be careful about? Zufa need to be careful.
No. Well, Clay, okay, they in the contract.
What Devin Haney gotta be? What are you talking about? You're gonna go into a job right now, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, Alberto, we're gonna give you $150K right now to work with our company." Cash up front. You're gonna be like, hold up, man. I don't know, man. You guys look like you're doing bad business. I don't want you to go out of business, man. Hey, bro, I gotta be careful. I can't just take any $150K right now. That's not what I do, bro. That's what you're doing. You're gonna be like, hey, bro, if you like it, I love it.
Well,
if you fail, what, you gotta get $150K back?
Well, the thing is, like, it would go to, you know, they would declare bankruptcy and it would be drawn out. It would probably be years and it would stall. It just wouldn't be something like when something's too good to be true. We usually know it, right? And so I'm just saying that to say this, right? You guys, like the Zufa shit, it's a good plan until it's not, because their contracts are airtight. You know, like if you guys really look at it, like some people have revealed, like some people really like dig up the contracts.
Alberto, I don't want to cut you off, Alberto, right? But how do you know what's in a Zufa contract?
Well, people have dug up like through the court documents of like, you know, right now they're in trial. And so some people have found like some of the verbiage being used.
Are you talking about are you talking about old UFC contracts, Alberto? Because that's not what
Hold on a second. Let's get somebody up here who knows what a Zufa contract looks like. Shout out to Coach Bernard Hackett in the building.
That's my guy.
Hey, what's going on?
Whose son is at Zufa Boxing. Coach, man, talk about this airtight contract, man, that's got you guys locked up forever. We hearing that you guys are getting extorted over there, that you're being locked up, you know what I'm saying, that you can't move around. We hearing, I mean, it sounds crazy.
That's what Alberto was saying, Coach. That's not what me and Clay are saying.
No.
That's what Alberto is saying.
He's been sitting here the whole time listening. He knows what's been going on. He's been knowing what's going on. He knows what's going on.
I mean, I when we boxing goes in the different box spaces, fans.
Coach, we got a bad connection.
It's a little choppy for me.
On me?
Hey, Coach, we got a bad connection. We can't hear you.
Well, you sound better now all of a sudden. I don't know. Talk now.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we hear you.
My thing is, I always get, kind of in a funny mood when I hear people, they want to see boxers fail, but they want to see promoters succeed. That's what all the conversation seems to be. I can say this when it comes to Zufa. My son's contract was clear, concise. There was no gray areas. Everything was spelled out. And I can, without revealing his personal information, he made more money in one Zufa fight than he had saw in his whole career. And if people know my son's career, he's been with multiple major promoters. And if that's robbing me, then continue to rob me. I have no problem getting robbed if that's robbing me. If I listened to what he said about the Devin Haney situation, I looked at it very differently. I'm a grammar person. I know social media has took away the concept of knowing grammar. It's created this. If you look at what Bill Haney said, if you put that back up, Clay, it says new deal worth over $100 million before 30 years old. Now, if we ask a grammar person to go in there and put it grammatically correct, they will put a comma after new deal. It will be a comma. So that says two different thoughts within one sentence or one question. So new deal.
Go ahead.
New deal. Then there's a comma. And then it says worth over $100 million before 30 years old. We all know Devin isn't 30. So that's saying I got a new deal. And with this new deal, I will make over $100 million before I turn 30. It did not say he signed a $100 million deal.
Yep.
But when we look at what people do with social media and grammar is taken out, apostrophes, semicolons, all is taken out, you kind of jumble it up and don't give thought to what's being said. I think Bill Haney just said right here, and I actually saw it earlier today, and I commented, shout out to Bill Haney, a great job he did for his son. It's telling me that, hey, we got a new deal. I'm going to let you all know that in the future. That's why a comma is put there. And then it says worth over $100 million before 30 years old. Look what I did for my son. I made him worth $100 million before 30, and we all know Devin's not 30. So that's giving you insight into what the future is looking like if he's done his part. So when you kind of look at this stuff, you got to kind of grammatically break it down for the logic of the level of person. I think Bill Haney, even though we've gone back and forth about our sons fighting, Bill Haney is one of the most intellectual men you will talk to in boxing. And so when you look at it with an air of intellect, then you see he's talking about what I've able to amass wealth-wise for him before he turns 30 years old in a totality from the day he turned pro.
100%. And you know something, Coach, I never got that deep into it, right? I didn't know if it was going to be 100 million. I just know Bill. I've spoken to Bill before, and that's one thing I walked away when I spoke to Bill is that's a smart dude. He don't talk just to be talking. And I don't know many people who have caught Bill slipping out here in this game to where he ain't on the winning side 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times that man is coming out on the winning side of any deal he's in. He's one of the most intelligent, active, successful father / manager / trainer guys out there and turning his son, always keeping him independent and always keeping him rich. I saw Devin Haney on Inside the Ring on Monday, and they said, yeah, Devin, I know you in it for the money and for the legacy. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, I ain't got no problem with no money. He said, I've been getting money. He laughed, and Max Kellerman laughed with him. Yeah, not a lot of fighters is sitting there feeling as confident as Devin is when it comes to the money game. So I never even looked into the money game that much. It didn't bother me. What I knew was something is brewing. That's what I knew. I knew something was cooking. Something was stewing in the pot, and I knew it was a big deal, and I knew it had to do with his son, Devin, obviously, and I'm hearing rumors that it's connected with Zufa, and all I could think of, Coach, was that WBO title. I said, is Devin going to vacate that title? I don't think he is, Coach. I don't think he's vacating.
And my thing, Clay, is when you hear about Conor Ben, you hear about Richardson Hitchens, you hear about Devin Haney, you hear about Bam Rodriguez, you hear about Jao Bataya. We're talking about guys who have legal teams. They're not just the broke boxer with they have legal teams. And their legal teams have fine-toothed these contracts to the point where they know even if something goes belly up, what they actually can cash out, for lack of a better word, and get from a belly up contract. A lot of times, and I've gone through it, you get the real contract, you get the real numbers when either one of the sides put it out. You get the fake version when fans start trying to play lawyer and try and play agent, because it's so many working parts behind these contracts and so many different things and so many ways that guys can make other money that there's no way, unless a fan is actually in the inner circle of one of these fighters or they're in the inner circle of one of these promoters, that they can do anything other than speculate.
Facts. And I always say it's a choice, right? If you're choosing to speculate in a negative way, that's a choice you're making, because that's you know what I'm saying? You could speculate in another way. So when you speculate in a hateful way, it shows your intention. It shows where your heart is at, because you don't know it one way or the other, but you're choosing to be like, that guy's lying. That guy's cap. There's no way. Why is there no way? And like I said earlier, nobody has a copy of a contract like the one your son has, that you and your son has with Zufa. We don't have access to it. The reason we don't have access to it is because Zufa ain't trying to do business with our asses. You know what I'm saying? That's why we ain't got no access to no contract. And every contract is unique, from what I've heard from you, from the Van Houders, from Julian Rodriguez, from Dmitry Popov, manager of Julian Rodriguez, who's been on this show saying all the contracts are different. You crazy as hell if you think Conor Ben's contract is the same as Julian Rodriguez's contract, or that Robert Mayweather Jr.'s contract is the same as Devin Haney's contract. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're talking about different contracts, different contingencies, different concessions, all types of different things being made so that the fighter is comfortable with what they got and what they're working with. Fans get so caught up in cookie cutter conversation that they think they can jump into these conversations about $1 million deals and be reputable and credible in the conversation, instead of playing their position and hang back and be a fan and be like, hold up. The part I'm concerned about as a fan is, if Devin go over to Zufa with that WBO title, is Zufa in the sanctioning body section? Uh-oh. And I'm telling you, if Devin Haney defends that WBO title under a Zufa promotion, what's stopping Shakur from coming over there and getting the bag? What's stopping David Benavidez from making a fight? We just saw that man sit on the stage on the night, stupefied by, how in the hell would I make a fight with a Zufa boxer? They don't like sanctioning bodies. Uh-oh, they like sanctioning bodies. It's just a whole different conversation if Zufa boxing is exposed, not only on the league side, but on the sanctioning body side. It really makes it a laydown. It's going to be a sweep. It's going to be a takeover. Who can get in their way at that point? And the money ain't never been a problem.
And if people look at it, just look at what Zufa has made other companies do by matching contracts. Your favorite fighter has made more money with Zufa just being in the game, even if they don't fight for Zufa, because Zufa is changing the numbers. It's making you realize that your favorite promoter is the guy that gives you the entertainment. There's never been a time when somebody spent $100 per household to see Bob Arum and Al Heyman box. There's never been a time for that. They've spent money to see the guys that they put in a ring box. And if you're a true fan of the sport of boxing, you always want the guy that gives you the excitement to get fair market value for his work. I've never seen, except for in boxing, where the fans wish the fighter would do bad, but the promoter does well. You don't have a promoter if you don't have fighters. Fighters are what you need to throw a boxing match. You could take promoters out of the game and you could still have fighters willing to fight each other. But you can't take fighters out of the game and keep promoters and think you're going to have boxing. It just doesn't work that way. What Dana White and what Turk is doing with this boxing, it's not freezing guys out. It's opening up opportunities. Even if you don't have a contract with Zufa and you just Zufa, those guys who want to sign with us, great. Some of you all may have titles. That's even great. We can make opportunities for guys who may never achieve more than the Zufa level. We can also make opportunities for guys who are at the ring card level. But then we can also bring all of the fans the greatest fights by putting on Riyadh seasons, because we're the only ones who can bring the financial aspect to the table to where even those promoters are happy. None of these promoters, if you think back 5 years ago, none of them were upset with Zufa or they weren't upset with Turkey Al-Sheikh when he was funding fights that they were not going to put their own money up to fund. Everybody loved Turk. They were shaking his hand. They were kissing babies. Shit, I think some of the promoters was just about ready to name their grandchildren Turkey Al-Sheikh. They were one step away from it. But then when he says, I can do better.
When Eddie Hearn said, if Turkey says shine my shoes, I'm shining his shoes. That he said that out of his mouth.
Correct. But as soon as he says, I don't like the way that you're treating fighters, let me show you they can be treated better. Now he's the problem.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, can I just
don't understand.
Hey, Coach, you know what's funny to me is, and again, Clay wanted to start the show today talking about our private conversation, but I get it. And most of the time, he does not talk to anyone about our private debates or conversations. All right.
But I only talk about our private conversations in your face.
Right. So, but Coach, since I've been co-host on this show, there is nothing that I've revealed or Clay's revealed that hasn't really come true. So the sanctioning body thing, and I want to get your take on it, because every time we get attacked, and I know Clay always tells me, don't worry about the space, man. They're going to attack you even when you're being factual. And all right, fine. So I'm not worried about it. But since you guys have been signed to Zufa, and we consistently tell people, don't attack Clay or call him Zufa Clay, or don't. I mean, I guess if Clay's cool with it, he can be. Or don't attack me and call me like.
I ain't gonna lie. When they call me Zoo, I'm kind of that's growing on me.
Sure. Or don't attack me and say that I'm somehow getting paid by Zufa to always be like talking about them. I just care about boxing and I love the sport and I love boxers, and you know that, Coach Bernard Hackett. So when you're saying it, because you're the one looking at a contract and you're the one with a son who's 22 years old, about to be 23. Shout out to my guy, Jaleel. You know, happy birthday soon in a few days. But it's like, I hope Alberto, and again, Alberto, I'm not trying to single you out, bro, but I hope people who have these questions can just listen to someone like you who's actually in it and reading the contracts and can just believe in what you're saying, and them not saying something ridiculous like, oh, no, man, Bernard, he getting conned. Bernard's getting conned. It looks, as my dear friend said to me, it looks sweet in the front, but bitter in the back. Coach Bernard, is it sweet in the front and sweet in the back? Would you say right now with Zufa?
I say it's 100% sweet. And like I said, when you look at the overall piece of it, my son, just through what show and tell says, my son was able to make more money in his first Zufa fight than he made in his entire career, My son was able to. He posted it. He went and bought himself a new car, paid for it that day. He invested in his IRA. He's thinking about his future. So you got to be financially able to do that. You can't do that if they're paying you $8,000 for a fight, or they offer you a guy that has a big name that you know made a big check, but they only want to pay you $30,000. I mean, that is those type of things that are really done that the fighters, they don't hear. They don't. I mean, that the fans don't hear or see. You can go back maybe 4 months ago, when the California Boxing Commission put out the whole payroll that they did for Diego Pacheco's fight card.
Yep,
and people were amazed that there were guys with names that they offer $8,000 and $10,000 to fight on the card. Go look at it. Whenever those things get put out, the California Athletic Commission don't have no favoritism. They just put the truth out. That's what the numbers were. And when guys see that I fought for $50,000, but I have a bigger name than Jalil Hackett, you think they're going to not come over somewhere where the money is bigger?
Especially if they know they're not on an island anymore, right? Especially if they know all of the freedoms that, because what I'm seeing is all of the freedoms that Nick Khan and Dana White is talking about, all are inside the Zufa ecosphere. It's not like if you don't like these rules, go somewhere else. It's like, no, we can do this too. You want to be over here? We you know what I'm saying? We can put you over in these fights. You want to fight for a WBC title? You want to fight for a WBO title? You want to become undisputed? You want to become a lineal champion? You want to fight that guy over there at Matchroom? You want to fight that? We can put those fights together because it's all about purse bids. It's all about money. It's all about offers being sent out and fighters accepting offers. I think that people have been so focused on tearing down something because of Dana White that they don't understand that they've been arguing against fighters' opportunities, and they're willing to put fighters in the middle of the fire and burn them in the spirit of getting at somebody they don't even know in Dana White, right? They don't realize when they're hating on Zufa that what about Jalil and his IRA? What about his car? What about his future? What about Julian Rodriguez and his son and his daughter and his family and the house he's buying right now in the life he's making? What about those guys who weren't on those cards where because you guys always hang on the biggest bags in the game. You say, man, they can't make 100. They're not making 100,000 now. They're not making 10 million now. What are you talking about? Why are you acting like the existence of this company that's giving these guys? You ain't hear Robert Garcia? Robert Garcia said, bro, I don't know what people are talking about, man. I got so many fighters in my gym. He says, I try to put on cards to get them paid because I know they got to feed their families and I can't even afford to really pay them. He says, I feel horrible, but I can't just sit here and look at them. So I'll put a card up and shoot this guy 1,000, shoot this guy 1,200, just so he can keep money so he can pay for socks and jockey straps and, you know what I'm saying, like regular stuff so he can maintain his family. I feel horrible. Now I get to come over to Zufa and these dudes are getting enough money to where they're quitting their jobs and they're boxing full time. They're in the gym all day long getting better. Why would anybody hate on that from his point of view? It's because fans don't have no idea. They're so fanatical, they don't even understand. They call themselves fans of the sport. They say they're here for the fighters. They say they're arguing for the fighters, right? Watch out. The fighters are going to get effed over. Every single fighter we've had over here from Zufa Boxing has said they don't want to go nowhere else.
And this is the first time in boxing. This is the first time in boxing that a boxer can say, when I joined Zufa, it was like the NFL because my life changed that day. No other organization in pros boxing, when a guy turns pro, that his life changes. 99.9% of the lives do not change. It's not like the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. Zufa is creating that situation. And if it's a situation where guys' lives can change overnight and it gives them that opportunity, if my son can only make $5 million a fight, I'm happy with it. If allows all the other fighters to see livable purses.
You can't knock it, right? So to the Albertos of the world, I know you guys think you're coming from a great space and you want to steer these fighters away from that. But when you steer them away from that, you're steering them into a space that's corrupt, that's been robbing fighters, playing fighters for decades now. Fighters have been, you look at Nahir Albright, just sat there and arguably beat Frank Martin on a main card. After his fight, 2 days of rest, where is he going? Back to work as a full-time nurse, bro. This man is a full-time nurse training on the side to compete in the sport where he could lose his life. And he was just on the main card, bro. He can't make enough money when he's fighting on a main card to rest and properly recover. No, this dude is walking down the hallways in a hospital with a knot on his head and a mask on his face because he's healing up while he's working. He can't even take off 2-3 weeks to be like, let me rest. What are we fighting for so much that we're hating on something that's providing so many opportunities for so many fighters? 90+% of the boxing game is broke, dog. That's a fact. That's statistics.
Can I just I didn't mean to come across as like the Zufa hater. I know like maybe that's how it came off, so I apologize. But my whole thing is, right, and salute to Coach. It was great insight. My whole thing is the reason why I'm a little bit caught when it comes to Zufa is because, guys, what do we always say about boxing, right? Boxing is, we don't play boxing, right? Boxing is not a sport, it's a business. And so I just think with the Zufa takeover, I just think what it does is like, we see it with the UFC. Nothing's bigger than the program. Like no fighter on UFC is bigger than UFC. It's about the name brand. And so I think what Coach said is really insightful, right? He said his son made more off his last fight than his whole career. And I think that's what Zufa is great. Like if you're not the most popular guy, like if you're not that top 1%, then yeah, Zufa's probably a good home for you because what Zufa does is they redistribute the wealth. It's like, think about the bell curve, right? Like instead of all of the wealth being at the top 1%, what Zufa does is there really is no top 1% because they don't want a top 1%. They want Zufa at the forefront. That's why the trunks and the gloves and the outfits is Zufa. So a lot of the wealth, like if you're in that bottom half, so what it does is it raises the floor, but it also lowers your ceiling. But that's just my opinion as a fan.
Okay, but Alberto,
hold on. Like,
wait, hold on. Let me just help you out with something, Alberto, right? I want you to understand something, right? Look at Zufa like a tier, right? Look at them. Look at the league as a tier, right? There is no ceiling because there's always Riyadh. There's always the ring cards. There's always more money with Zufa. You're just looking at that Apex Arena shit. You're not acknowledging Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford was Zufa. You're not acknowledging that if Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben fight, that's going to be on a ring card, right? That the bag is going to be very different. That Devin Haney's bag is not going down. He's coming from making money, and he's coming from a space that can't afford him officially, right? A space that's like, there's no money in paying you like that. So he's leaving, and Zufa's going to pay him like that, right? He hasn't lowered his tax bracket. We got to stop, like, making shit up. We got to stop speaking on things we don't know nothing about. We got to be real about that, right? We can't. Jao Pataya made more money with Zufa fighting in the Apex, defending his lineal title and his IBF title at the time than he did his whole pro career working with Eddie Hearn. Facts. You understand what I'm saying to you? Not imagination, not what respectfully what you're doing, right? You're assuming and speculating, right? But there's data that battles that fights back at that all day long, that doesn't add up with the speculation. We want to talk in things that we don't have any, we're not privy to the information. We shouldn't talk so freely because it spreads around and you guys start sounding like echo chambers. It doesn't make sense. We just had, you know what I'm saying, somebody here on the stage was just like telling you, like, you guys talking about things that you don't know. And as boxing fans, we've gotten away from talking about boxing and just being happy that we're seeing competitive fights and being happy for fighters. We're getting into the business part of the conversation so deep to where we think we can talk to Bill Haney about money, about business. Meanwhile, he's completely steering his son into being worth $100 million by the time he's 30. And we think we're going to sit here and like talk to him about that. You should have nothing but questions for Bill Haney. Let's be real, right? Nothing but questions. How? Show me. Can you show me how? How did you do that? I want to do that. Not you stupid, you dumb. Meanwhile, you about to be late for work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the other thing too, Clay, if I could just add, and Alberto, again, we're not trying to make you like the martyr of the day, but you know, but yeah, respectfully, Alberto. But here's the thing, and I want to advise this for you because you are a very good fan, and I know you're the type of guy that's not like sitting there trying not to support, right? But Claymore even said it after we had Mike Leon come on the show. We said if you guys love that side so much, then you better pay that $50 a month and support it. Support the zone because that is your last hope. In terms of Zufa taking over, if you want to know what the actual numbers are, man, it's public record. Listen to the last quarterly report. Mark Shapiro just went on record talking about it. He already said that there's already over 100 fighters currently signed to Zufa right now. He said that this May 10th card happening on Sunday is going to be the last for a little bit because they're going into the next phase of Zufa, which is all going to be outside of the Apex. Like, this is actually publicly reported stuff, right? You know what wasn't publicly reported, Alberto, that quickly? Is what the numbers were for David Benavidez. So much so that they made that guy sound like a dummy when he said the event was sold out to Ariel Helwani, bro. So you want to talk about Muhammad Ali act this and nobody wanted to tell David, hey, bro, just make sure you don't say that it wasn't a sold-out show and make sure. Bro, come on, man. Like it's just facts, right? It's just facts. The second thing I'd suggest, Alberto, is I need you to stop. And again, I'm speaking from not only a place of love, bro, but a place of knowledge, okay? Trust me when I say this. Clay knows, okay? You can't compare UFC to what Zufa's doing. You just can't. Yeah. It's a completely different program. I promise you, Alberto. I know. Okay, so you cannot do it. It's not even. It's never. Anytime a boxing fan wants to get on the subject of, but look what they did. None of that matters. What Zufa's doing and how Zufa's structuring their contracts is based on a vision of what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you one more thing that might sound a little controversial. When Devin Haney makes his announcement to be with Zufa, he'll become more popular in the American boxing space. And I know there's going to be Devin Haney fans that will say, well, he already is popular. Guys, I promise you that there isn't a Starbucks conversation to the regular casual NFL fan about Devin Haney. But in the next few years with him being with Zufa, I promise you that Devin Haney will start being compared to Sugar Ray Leonard. That's how powerful that group is. They know what they're doing, Alberto. So let's just celebrate the boxers, man. Let's just celebrate the boxers. If Boots Ennis, I love Boots. I hope he makes as much money as he can with Eddie Hearn. I'm so happy that Xander Zayas, who's 23, signed this extension with Top Rank. That's amazing, bro. I'm so happy for everybody. Vidal Riley, bro, rock it out with KSI and be promoted by KSI. That's awesome. Let's just celebrate the boxers for what their successes are, Alberto, and let's not be fanagers of what their pockets are getting lost.
We don't know. We just don't know. And that's I mean, I would say follow the lead, man, because you won't see us playing that game. I don't know to this day if Conor Bed made $15 million, and I'm never going to make a show about his $15 million. I don't care if he made $15 million. I don't know what that man made, bro. I don't care. You know what's good? He's good. And I'm good with that. You feel me? That's it. You feel me? Devin's good with whatever he got. Devin could have got a $20 10-year contract, bro. If he's good, I'm good. Are you ready to fight now? Well, all right then. You heard? Well, all right then, bro. You feel me? That's it. What can I do, bro? You know what I'm saying? I can't spend it with him, and I don't want to spend it with him. Well, I'm lying, because if you want to spend it with me, hit me on the super chat or hit me. I'm Devin. I take that back. I don't mind spending with you at all, bro. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like I was saying, you never know. He might want to spend it with me, and I don't want him to think I don't want to spend it with him. That's ridiculous, right? But at the end of the day, we gotta start dialing it back, bro, and just being happy that these fighters are going to be active instead of seeing Devin not fight since November. You know what I'm saying? And seeing him once a year. seen Shakur fight once a year. We got to start getting excited for the thing that affects our bottom line, which is you're going to be fighting 2 to 3 times a year. Because I heard him say that on inside the ring. I want to fight 2 to 3 times a year. That made me happy as a fan because that's what I care about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I care about. So why would I tell him to walk away from that, go back to being in a dog race, in a rat race of chasing money down, being active once a year, maybe even having a cherry pick because he has to also find somebody who's willing to take the money they're going to give him and all types of nonsense. And I'm losing out because Dana's losing? No, Dana's not losing. Dana's still going to the casino, playing $100,000 poker hands. You know what I'm saying? Living his best life, bro. Nothing.
It's $1 million blackjack hands, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, none of our hating is going to stop that man from driving around in the foreign, living in a 30,000 square foot mansion and flying on a private jet anywhere he wants to go in the world as soon as he feels like it. There's no amount of hating we do that's going to derail that. We need to get off that man's nuts, man. We need to stop. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about making him hurt and just get into these fights because I don't care. Most of these, bro, we haven't seen Al Heyman, 7 years? 6 years?
It's crazy, Clay. I mean, I asked you this on our conversation. I'm like, where is he? Yeah.
I don't even know he's alive, bro.
He's an enigma.
Show you how he don't even care enough to like to come out to an event real quick and shoot a deuce into the camera out of all the support he gets. Not even talk, right? Just look in the camera and go, hey, to the fans, and go home. He won't even do it. What am I sitting here trying to make sure PBC's up here? And what the hell do I care, bro? I just want to see the fights. What you here for, Alberto?
No, absolutely, man. I'm gonna take what you guys said, and I'm gonna absorb it, pause, and I'm gonna take like a pen and paper, do my homework. But it's just with me, man. I'm just I love boxing, right? Like we all do, right? And so I just don't want to see the sport get hurt. I just don't. My only opposition to Zufa is just like the person that's spearheading it. Like that's my only thing. Like Dana has like that lawsuit, his own fighters, a class action shit. But I'm gonna try to do what you guys said. It's hard for me. Like what they say, right? If we forget history, then history repeats itself. But like you guys said, I just gotta be a fan at the end of the day and see what happens. But man, I appreciate y'all for the platform.
Alberto,
for real.
Also pray for the best, bro. That's if you want to really help them, you got more power in your prayer for these fighters than trying to like whatever the hatred is, right? So for my thing is, I hope this works. How about that?
Right.
I hope Devin is getting what he need to get.
And Alberto, let me just say this too, bro. And that's why I like you, Alberto, because I can feel the passion that you are really a boxing fan. And anytime you want to have these conversations where you want to ask a legit question, and there's a legit answer that can be given. Like, look what happened. We brought up Coach Bernard Hackett, and he kind of started explaining things. But don't be so singular into thinking that Zufa's going to fuck people, because Oscar De La Hoya is fucking Virgil Ortiz right now. Floyd Mayweather got fucked by PBC or however you want to say
right now.
So look at the past also, bro. Like look at the past, because Zufa, they're only going into their 6th show in May. They haven't even been around long enough to fuck anyone yet in Zufa boxing. All right. So just, people are projecting what happened to other people in the past into Zufa boxing. And I promise you, man, don't look at the UFC. The Zufa contracts are different. There's similarities, but it is different. And trust me, man.
Fighters upset because it's different.
I mean, but you know what? That's the funny thing is like, look, man, I don't want to make the ATP Combat Media today a UFC conversation, but let me just say something.
It's clearly different.
No, but hold on, Clay. But let me just say this, all right? When they say, well, that's why the fighters are upset, okay, name the fighters. Because the majority of the people in the roster are not upset.
Right.
The majority of the people in the roster aren't complaining. And in fact, Alberto, if they were, there'd be a union. You know what created a union? The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball. So when these fighters that there's, I think like 370 or something like that right now, currently in the UFC, because they had to do more roster cuts. When all of those 370, a little less than 400, all decide to one day band together and form a union like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, then awesome, bro. Awesome. And in the meantime, I think Max Holloway is doing just fine. Justin Gaethje is sitting right next to the president. You know who else was sitting next to the president? Can't even doesn't even speak a lick of English. He had to bring up a translator. Alex Pereira. You know what Alex Pereira just did from Brazil? Throw the first pitch out of Yankee Stadium. Bro, right. I don't see David Benavidez doing none of that shit. So go talk to PBC about what they can do to promote a show here that couldn't even sell more than 8,000 tickets, bro. There's a problem with that. Go be mad at them. Go be mad at them. Don't be mad at what Zufa's doing.
Yeah, well, bro. I did celebrate these fighters, man. That's it.
No, for sure. I'm gonna say a prayer, like you guys said. That's the only thing I could do, man. I appreciate y'all for real. And real quick, before I leave,
don't say a prayer that you hope Dana gets hit by a truck. Say a prayer that Dana you hope Devin getting money. You know how you guys do, bro. Don't be up there praying like, you know what? I never thought of that. Yo, God, can you please get Dana White hit by a truck? He is such a bad person. Don't waste the prayer. Don't do that. Good need help, bad don't need no help, bro. Pray for something good, man. That's all I'm hoping for.
I'm gonna leave you guys with this though, man. I did see a preliminary number. They're saying David did 180K pay-per-view buys. Not too shabby because like that's not even taking into account the DAZN like ultimate package. So I think we got a new face of boxing. But with that being said, I'm gonna be in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all for real. Great show.
Alberto, no doubt, man.
Alberto.
Coach.
Thanks, bro.
Coach, I see he got a picture of Jalil up there sticking.
Oh, there we go.
Right hook to the body. Boom!
Yeah.
Right up the left elbow. Nasty work.
You know it.
Negro Mexicano.
Man, we just love the fact that y'all bringing this type of information to the regular fan, because I think a lot of times the regular fan gets hoodwinked into believing something that's the narrative that they want to put out. At the end of the day, the only thing you can believe is if the check cashes or if it bounces. That's the only thing you can believe.
And Mercedes did not get a bounce check.
Nah, they ain't called my son yet to say it returned because the check bounced.
It cleared, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that, you know what's funny too, Coach, is that when you were saying you're so humble, right? Because you're like, you know, Jalil just paid for his first car in full. Guys, it was a Benz. All right, he didn't go into the Hyundai store and pay for
shout out to Hyundai, man. Shout out to Hyundai. Don't do that. He could.
Bro, our family got a Hyundai. Don't do that. My first car was a Hyundai. I'm trying to explain to you. Look, I own a Hyundai. Don't talk to me about no Hyundai,
Hyundai, bro. Shout out to OA, bro. That's not what we do. He said he got a Mercedes, not a Hyundai. The way he said it was diabolical.
No, what I'm trying. Look, Jalil could have bought
the thoughts of the channel. That is Angelo Reyes who got issues with Hyundai. I don't know.
Hey, I don't got no issues with a Hyundai, man. If Hyundai want to sponsor ATP, I got no problem with it.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, Reyes.
Hey, relax, Clay. Relax. All right, relax.
Around the corner. I don't want Hyundai.
I'm trying to make a point that the Hackett family are so humble they don't even really brag about anything that they do, because Jalil is that smart young man and he's 22 years old, man. He didn't and he worked hard to do it. Like he's been working. That kid, bro, I love that kid so much. He worked so hard and he never talked shit about nobody, bro. I can't, you'll never be able to get him to talk shit about anybody, really, man. He reminds me of Marvin Hagler. I'll tell you what, though, Coach. One day somebody's gonna make Jalil mad, like how Marvin Hagler got mad, and then he will end up talking shit about somebody. Watch, somebody's gonna make him mad.
Listen, I'm sure. He's gonna talk to him. He might talk to him when he's trying to get that big championship. He might have to let a fighter know the truth, and it might come off as talking shit, but it might just be the truth, right, Coach? Let's be honest.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm happy my son bought the Benz. It made me feel good to be able to say, hey, my son did this without doing anything wrong. He kept it right. But I was more proud that he sat down with his team and he put money in the IRA and figuring out how he does the future. And I would like to tell every fighter, no matter what your age is, never too late to think about your future. If you have to, you can get in touch with, hey, I'll tell you this, you can get in touch with me. I have a great financial advisor that works with my son. And he's making the right moves. It's cool to buy a car. It's cool to buy a chain. But please have your future thought of and paved out before you get into this car and chain world, because they depreciate. Your IRA, it will appreciate.
Yeah, Facts, man. Facts. So look, guys, we got a fight happening this weekend, man. And Angelo's already made his choice. He's already going in there with his guy. He thinks this guy's gonna do. I don't know. I know you and Coach you and Angelo be talking, so you probably going with light skin too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But shout out. Shout out to
why you gotta call Fabio Wardley light skin, bro? Why you doing that, man?
Hey, what is he, bro? He light skin, bro. He ain't mad at it. I ain't diss him. I just call him. He like being light skin. Well, he ain't got no choice either. But he is. But we got two big punchers, man. Two big punchers in the heavyweight division. Probably the two. Is it? What you guys think that probably the two heaviest punchers in heavyweight in heavyweight boxing right now?
Right? 100%. 100%.
Right?
Yeah. Because Fabio Wardley currently right now is 20 wins with 19 of them being by knockout, and 28-year-old Daniel Dubois has 22 wins and 21 of them are by way of knockout. So yes, Clay, they're the hardest punchers.
All right, so we got some real punches in the game, and we got Fabio Wardley, who Mr. The white collar boxer from out of where that man out from again? Ipswich. Yeah, bro. He cannot beat Daniel Dubois coming from that place, bro. That's not happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? Way too proper, way too difficult to say, way too weird. Daniel Dubois is raw. He's dialed in. Well, first of all, Coach, what do you make of Daniel Dubois as far as personality, as far as how he's been dealing with the interviews? Did you see the Ariel Helwani interview?
I'm gonna say I think he's doing his thing with it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Everybody takes to the interview world differently. I think the only one that does bad with the interview world is a person who refused to give. I think everybody have to interview to their personality. To take one of Reyes's comments that he always says about Jaleel. Sometimes I cringe when Jaleel says certain things, but Angelo always says, "That's Jaleel being Jaleel." They love it, and they do. But it wouldn't work for me if I was being Jaleel because it's not authentically me. Right. So I think what Worley is doing, I think it's great because it's naturally him. We don't see him do an interview one way, but then we see a million clips of him the total opposite person. Mm-hmm. It fits the personality that he has, and I think it makes it where he becomes more relatable because people relate to him being authentic.
Okay, but when I'm talking about Daniel, right? Daniel kind of like spaced out a little bit, right? Just a little bit, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. He's become short all of a sudden. All of a sudden, Daniel doesn't look comfortable doing interviews. He's never looked comfortable, right? But now he's ending them, right? Like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this interview. He kind of did the same thing to Ariel Helwani just a little bit, and I'm wondering if he's a little rattled, or is that just really his personality no matter what? Is he rattled? Is he thinking about the wrong? Is he not focused on the fight? Is he kind of like all over the place, or is it just, are we just used to Daniel Dubois carrying it that way?
I'm gonna say from my personal position is I think he's grown irritated, and fighters grow irritated by answering the same question multiple times, and that may not be the way that they operate. They say, I said it once, I said it before. What I will say is I think my son does that sometimes. And why do you do it, Jaleel? Why do you be short with certain answers? Or why do you be short when people ask you certain questions?
Well, it depends, really. Sometimes it may be a sense of, I got a read on this person. I really don't want to talk to him. Sometimes it's like what you just said, where if I answer a question multiple times and you just keep asking the same question and you just rewording it, then it's like I'm gonna get short with you. And realistically, the third reason to really be like, honestly, I just don't feel like talking.
Yeah, and sometimes the media just ends up being something you have to do, right? It becomes a chore more than something you want to do.
By the way, guys, that was Jaleel Hackett, one of the brightest talents at now 160 pounds for Zufa Boxing. Can't wait for him to come back. put on a show, had a hell of a fight against Roberto Cruz, who, by the way, was the last guy I think that fought Andres Katsourakis, who's making his Zufa debut this Sunday. So, but yeah, man, I didn't even know Jaleel was on the side there, but always good to hear from El Negro Mexicano, Clay.
No doubt. So which direction are you leaning in, Jaleel, as far as this fight is concerned? Are you liking the pedigree? Do you think is Fabio Wardley world class? I mean, I know he has a title. I get it. And it's easy for you guys to just go there. He got a world title, so he's world class. I get you, right? But I mean, in his last two fights, specifically Justice Hooney and Joseph Parker, with Joseph Parker, he improved. He did improve. He was losing the fight, but he was boxing more in that fight. But Justice Hooney, he just got completely outclassed. Both fights he won in the last minute almost with that right hand, and that's cute and everything like that. But I mean, can he count on that? I guess. I mean, he has that high knockout ratio, but now he's getting in the ring with somebody who has the pedigree and the power. How do you feel about this fight, going into this fight, and who you leaning towards?
Honestly, I'm leaning towards Daniel Dubois. You know, he's the more, I feel like he's the more experienced fighter. You know, he's been in there with type of competition. And I think he has all the pieces to beat Wardley.
Yeah, me too. I think Wardley gets hit too much. And I think people don't acknowledge that. And I don't think he's been in the ring with punchers like Daniel Dubois. He's been able to get it. I just think he's been able to kind of get away with it a little bit. And he's just been in the right place at the right time with the right opportunities. And I feel at this level, it's about actually being this good. It's about being that good. And if he's that good, he can do something special. But if he's not that good, I think reality might check him on Saturday.
Hey, Coach Hackett, who do you have going into this Wardley Dubois fight?
I like Fabio Wardley.
Why?
You want to tell us why, Coach?
Coach like light skin fighters.
You know, there you go with that foolishness. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say an expression that another coach said, another fighter said that fits this situation. Tank is losing till he wins. Same thing with Fabio Wardley. He loses until he wins. I can't go against that right hand.
What about him getting punched in the face?
A lot of people get punched.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get punched in the face by Daniel Dubois, and the people who do get punched in the face by Daniel Dubois, he's looking like AJ.
Hey, two black eyes don't equal the same thing as a knockout. So you can give me two black eyes, but if I knocked you out, they don't remember my two black eyes.
But that's the problem, right? We don't remember the two black eyes because sometimes we got to remember the two black eyes, man, because going into the next fight, we got to be like, bro, you keep walking out these fights with black eyes, bro. Eventually, you got to stop walking out these fights. Can we get one black eye in this fight? Not two? Can we improve? Can we just not be getting...
Yeah, but I think that's because he light skinned. And the reason I say that because if one of my Mexican brethren come out with two black eyes, we call him a warrior. If Fabio Wardley come out with two black eyes, we say he get hit too much.
Point. Okay. That is such a good point. Thank you, Coach Hackett. That is such a good point. Yeah, why? Yeah, Clay. Why is it that when Mexicans get the black eyes, they're called warriors, but you messing with my light skin people, man? When they get black eyes, they're not warriors no more.
If a Mexican who be getting black eyes is jumping in the ring with Daniel Dubois, I'm gonna tell him to get his head off the line, bro. Period. That's what I'm gonna tell him.
But that's after y'all call him a warrior. But that's after you call him a warrior. But give it to the light-skinned brother. He get hit too much.
Yo, we about to find out. He keep getting hit. I'm just saying, we'll find out Saturday. Look, somebody getting stopped. I find it very hard to believe that this goes 12 rounds to a decision, but you never know because we watched Francis Ngannou fight. My guy, what's my guy's name? The Beast. I can't remember his name right now. Derek Lewis.
That was the most boringest fight in the world, bro. Like, what are you doing? Why are you bringing that up?
And they were the biggest punches. They were the two biggest
I
punches.
know.
What I'm saying is sometimes the two biggest punches get in the ring and all of a sudden they don't want to punch each other because all of a sudden they become defensively responsible and they start moving
Now,
around.
I'm going to tell you what I think this fight's going to end up looking like, guys. I think it's going to end up looking like Ikabe Ibuchi versus David Tua. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting heavyweight fights you've seen because here's what I'll tell you about Fabio Wardley, and this is why I get into it with Clay about Fabio. Fabio was working as a recruiter for a soccer or a rugby league, I think it was. But he had this massive talent in where he was sparring the high-level guys and some amateur people in the gym. Because in the UK, as you and I have spoken before, Coach Hackett, in the UK, man, they're all cool with sparring with each other because they know, it's each other's business. Everybody's trying to help. It's like it's insulting for them when you don't give them a fight, right? Because then you're taking away food from their table, right? It's like, no, bro, if you like me and if we're cool with each other, you will give me a fight because I'm trying to feed my family just like you're trying to feed your family, right? So the culture is different. Like it's just a different attitude. So anyways, Fabio's just sitting there just having a giggle, having fun. And I think it was his friend, Dillian White, I think it was, that said to him, bro, you should just do this for real, like really train for real, because I think you can do it. So he didn't have much of an amateur background, and Wardley did it step by step, which is what I was telling Clay. I'm like, but look at his career. By the time this motherfucker was like in his 8th fight, he was fighting for or in the 9th fight, he was fighting for an English title. And then here's the kicker, right? When they mention all these names, and I know Moses E. Talma's name always comes up. Bro, they brought Fabio Wardley to Riyadh too on Battle of the Baddies. He was the B-side to David Adelaide. He knocked that fool out. And that's really like all he's done is knock people out that he wasn't supposed to knock out, right? His biggest fight to date was the fight of the year at Sky Sports in 2024 against the bronze medalist from Tokyo, Frazier Clark. And for any of you guys who are going to try to tell us, well, Frazier Clark can't fight. Did you see the fight with Hooney? Hooney Frazier Clark on Netflix might be one of the best heavyweight fights this year. Like, honestly, try to find another better heavyweight fight than Justice Hooney versus Frazier Clark in 2026.
It's up
right? It's so that's the guy that Wardley done broke his skull with the right hand, with the hammer. All right? Broke his skull, Clay. His cheekbone was sucking in. It broke.
He had a dent in his head. Watch. By the way, I got a Wardley Dubois video dropping in the morning while I break all this down, man. I think you guys will be impressed with it.
Yeah, I know you're gonna do a lot of hate from my light skin.
No, brother, I didn't. I think well, first of all, after you watch this video, don't never play with me again.
Okay, all right. You better say some nice things about my guy.
After you watch this video.
All right. I'm gonna believe you. You guys make sure you watch the rain report tomorrow.
After tomorrow morning. Stop.
Yeah, tomorrow morning. All right. So, but anyway, so then what did Fabio Wardley do that gets everyone so upset, Coach? Here's what gets them upset. So he's fighting Justice Hooney in the rain, right? He fills out 20,000 people at Ipswich on the stadium. It's raining. It's literally raining, and people are wearing their overcoats, right? And for all you people who keep saying Benavidez got a lot of fans, they're not doing that. They're not on 20,000 deep in the rain watching their boy do something. So, David, man, get on your game. So Fabio Wardley's losing every round. Coach Hackett, I think he was supposed to fight Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller got injured. They asked Justice Hooney to come in, like with 3.5 weeks notice. Justice Hooney comes in there. He's beating him up. And then the hammer of Thor came out, Clay. Knocked Hooney out, right? So now he's in position. And Joseph Parker, who just knocked out Bacole, thought the very thing that Daniel Dubois is thinking right now. Your food, bro. You ain't no good. I can beat you. Joseph Parker, bro. One of the best heavyweights in the world. And what did Fabio Wardley do to Joseph Parker that got Claymore so upset? Fabio Wardley knocked him out. That's what happened, man.
Knocked him out. That was stopped.
Well, hey, look. Hey, Coach Hackett, you saw that fight. Even if they would have let the fight keep going, could Joseph Parker have pulled it off, or was he going to get knocked out even worse?
we know what was going to happen eventually. It was just a matter of time, and that referee did his job. He did a great job. We always talk about him not doing a great job. That was a fantastic job.
So at the end of the day, Clay, you heard it from one of the best coaches in the game right there, bro. You heard it from one of the best coaches in the game right there. He just told you, right? And you keep hating on my guy because somehow you don't think he's got the chance. And I've been saying
I didn't say he don't got a chance. Stop it.
Well, look, I know you're picking Daniel Dubois, but you were really picking Daniel Dubois majorly. I think now you've come more to the 50-50 sense.
Well, more so because of Daniel that I've come to the 50-50 because I'm unsure of the Daniel that we're going to see on that night. But I still feel like but let me tell you something, right? Fabio Wardley doesn't suck. The question for me is he a real good domestic fighter, or has he transitioned over into being a great world-class fighter? Because he has a WBO title, and I get it, right? He was in the right position in the right place. And listen, man, Joseph Parker showed up into that, jumped on that scale, was 263 pounds. Then he popped for, we know what he popped for a couple of weeks later. So as far as I know, that man was partying like a rock star, living his best life. I don't know his business, right? But one might say that because of what they found in his system, right? That's that Rick James shit. So at the end of the day, I don't know what Joseph Parker we got in the ring that night. He got in the ring with Justice Hooney, a last-minute replacement because Jarrell Big Baby Miller hurt his shoulder, right? And Justice Hooney put it on him for 9.5 rounds. And then he hit him with a shot at the 10th round and won a fight that I had people that I knew had money in it that were crying. Like, I can't believe this dude played me like that. And then while they were saying that to me, like, oh, he won my bet. So that's great, and that's exciting. That's an exciting place to be, to watch your fighter get their ass whooped for 9.5 rounds and then finish the fight off with I'm sure that's a great emotional roller coaster. That's a lot of excitement, right? But at the end of the day, unfortunately, there's a consistent thing happening here that we keep looking past because of what Coach said, right? Coach said, yeah, he be getting beat until he win. So we look past him getting beat and we keep focusing on him winning, which is cool, right? Like, support to Fabio Wardley, but it leaves a space in there where there's a question. What happens when he gets in there with that real world-class fighter? And Joseph Parker would have been the real first, in my opinion, world-class, because even Frazier Clark, I consider him domestic. I don't consider him world-class. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting in the ring with a real world-class guy who knocked out Anthony Joshua, he's been in the ring with Oleksandr Usyk twice. He lost, got stopped twice, but was in the ring with Usyk, the pound-for-pound best heavyweight fighter in the world, twice. And the first time, he was competing until he was competing until he lost. It was a good fight the first time they fought. Fabio has to prove it. That's all I'm saying. And if he shows and he proves in this fight, I'm going to give him his flowers. But I can't discount what I've seen, man. I've seen this dude get exposed to a certain degree when it comes to the boxing game. And Daniel Dubois is pedigreed, man. This kid he just be off his game sometime, but he's got a nasty hand.
Hey, Clay.
Yeah.
I don't think I like that take.
Okay, talk to me. Help me out.
I just look at it like this. If my former high school basketball team plays the Thunder twice, and the first time they beat the life out of us, and the second time we lose by 10, and I tell everybody, well, because we lost by 10 the second time, we probably can beat the Spurs. Like, no, you just so happen to be in 2 games with a great team. Just because you were in 2 games with a great team doesn't make you great. It just means you played a great team twice and you lost twice.
Does the experience?
So I don't think it's any different with Usyk in the book.
Does the experience matter, though? If you've been in the ring with Oleksandr Usyk twice, you've been in the ring with Anthony Joshua, and you've been in a park playing 3-on-3, you know what I mean? Or you've been in some bare knuckle fights. Am I supposed to still favor you over the guy who's shared the ring with those guys and had that experience? Doesn't the experience count regardless?
not as much as people think. I'm gonna say it like this: if you had $1,000 the day Fabio Wardley or any of these guys turned pro, and I had $1,000, and I bet with him every time, and you bet against him every time, how much money have I won in compared to how much money you've lost?
A lot more. If Fabio Wardley is the example, I agree.
So if I'm looking at it from the standpoint of how much money he's won me, as opposed to how much I've lost,
is that what this is about?
Yes. And when you talk about it, at the end of the day, it's house money.
Have you won a lot of money with Fabio?
Money. You're playing with house money. So at some point, everybody except for Floyd Mayweather takes a loss before they retire. But if I bet with you and more consistently have won than I have against you, then why would I go with anybody's he has experience, he has this, when at the end of the day, my financial report says I should keep betting with you.
I think that's a good argument for you to pick Fabio, right? Because I think the good thing is Fabio has shown an ability to kick it up a gear in the championship rounds. And if your conditioning is not there, or, he's there to take advantage of that. And I think that's fair. I think there's good things about Fabio Wardley. Once again, I don't think he sucks. I think he's a great fighter. I think most fighters he gets in the ring with, he's going to probably win. And like you said, using his record as proof of it. But I do believe that this is a level. There's levels to the game. And you get to a certain point to where the reality, we get past, like Vin Diesel said in that movie, we start to get past the silliness of it all. And we start to say, you can't do what you did with Justice Hooney with Daniel Dubois. You better not do what you did with Joseph Parker with Daniel Dubois, because you got hit a lot. And you ain't supposed to be getting punched on by no Daniel Dubois. That's what I'm saying. You can get hit every now and then, but you ain't supposed to be sitting there just getting punched on by Daniel Dubois right now. Nah, his record says that's also a stat that we can count. Saying don't do that.
No, I mean, and again, that's why it was closer to 50-50, right? But I'm with Coach, and I'm it's so easy to rock with Dubois because the Tank analogy was a great analogy, right? Tank is losing until he's not. He was losing to Frank Martin until he wasn't, right? And that's the thing, is it's like same thing with Wardley, man. Wardley is undefeated. That means he doesn't know how to lose. So if Daniel Dubois is the first person that wants to teach him, okay, cool. But I'm going to tell you something that Daniel Dubois does know how to do. Lose, Clay. He lost 3 times. His face got broken in by Joe Joyce. He got he didn't want to continue on against Usyk the first time. And then he got popped really hard by Usyk the second time.
I agree.
And I think he was really out of it. But I know a lot of people say it's because he didn't really want to get up. And I don't want to get into the semantics of it all. All I know is he was sat on his pockets, right? If anyone out there right now who wants to make a bet, do not somehow believe that Wardley could catch him, then you guys are crazy.
No, of course.
White skin got thunder. All right. So
that's why I got close to 50. That's why I was like 60-40 like 2-3 weeks ago. And now I'm like 55-45 because I don't know what Daniel Dubois is coming to do. He seems to be very wound up. He seems to be very he seems intense. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because if he's intense, I don't know if that means he's going to go in there and exchange and just get into this fisticuffs with a puncher who needs to be respected in Fabio Wardley, or if he's going to do what I know he can do. And that's part of the whole game, right? Shout out to Justin Gagey. I'm thinking about him right now in my mind on the UFC, because he always chooses to fight a certain way when I know he don't gotta fight that way. I know that he's, that he's so disciplined as a wrestler, but he chooses to deliver those performances, and they get risky, and you end up like with what Max Holloway did to him, right? So it's like, if you get into that situation with Fabio, will he force Fabio to up his game? Like, nah, bro, you gotta bring your game up. We're gonna work behind this jab. We're gonna control the range. We're gonna set you up for our right hand. We're gonna hit and try our best not to be hit, and you show us that you have the pedigree to cross that void, slip this lead hand, slip these right hands, and find your right hand. shot. I'm not just going to give it to you and just give the crowd a show. I'm wondering what him and Don Charles is working on. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I've been I slowly try to tune Jaleel more and more into the UFC, and you mentioned Justin Gaethje. Yeah, I got a suggestion for you, Justin. Do not try to box.
That's what I'm saying,
bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Do not do that.
You don't gotta do that.
You better take his ass down. Because do not try to box with Ilya Tapura, right, Jaleel? You've seen Ilya Tapura now. You know what he can do.
Oh, he not. I don't think he's in the car, or he's not there.
Oh, he's not in the car. Is Coach, you still there? Maybe it's a signal thing.
They got a bad connection. Yeah, man. That's all I'm saying. This fight is very close, man. If Daniel Dubois gets knocked out, I will not be surprised. I promise you. I will not be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I will be like, listen, if Fabio can't do nothing else in boxing, he can knock a motherfucker out. If he can't do nothing else. And I'm also interested in seeing him add to what we saw him do against Joseph Parker, because he had good moments in the Joseph Parker fight. He was working behind his jab. He was slipping some shots. He was doing some good combination punches. He was improving, and I know he has an excellent trainer in Ben Davidson, an excellent teacher in Ben Davidson, so I expect him to be improved and even better than what he was against Joseph Parker. I need to see a world-class performance so I can give him world-class accolades. The WBO championship ain't enough in this conversation, Angelo. Normally it is, but in this conversation,
no, I hear you. I mean, this is the confusing. I'm glad you bring that up, because this is the confusing shit about sanctioning bodies, right? Because we all know who the real heavyweight champion is. It's Usyk.
Right, exactly.
Right? So this is just really, we could even call this just a regional belt or whatever you want to call it, right? Yes, I understand it's the WBO title, but at the end of the day, how did this even become a WBO title? Well, Usyk didn't want to fight Parker, so he vacated the belt. Parker then fought Bakoli, knocked that dude out, and then Usyk was like, yeah, guys, you all can have it. Then Wardley knocked out Parker, and that's how we got to the WBO.
Actually, Wardley picked up that interim title off of Parker. Parker had an interim WBO title the whole time. Right. And then when Fabio won the fight, because Usyk was going to fight Parker, but when he saw Fabio won, and he was like, there ain't enough money in that, bro. You can have the belt. And then they elevated him up. So, that's why in the traditional space of boxing, especially, maybe in Zufa will be a little different, but in the traditional space, I got to call it how I see it in the ring. I don't care about the jury so much. You know what I'm saying? Because the jury's cold. Abdullah Mason is a WBO champion. I think he got an appetite for smoking one of the best young prospects / champions / contenders in the game right now. But the truth of the matter is the truth of the matter. That man's had one 12-round fight, bro. And it was a war. So we got to see him.
And he's going to be in a tough fight again, too, with Joe Cordina. Don't all of a sudden think, not you, but I mean, just you guys out there. Go do your homework and go watch a lot of Joe Cordina stuff.
He has to show you world-class shit, bro, so you can give him world-class accolades. He has to show it to you. All these fighters. Much love and respect to all of them, but you got to show us that world-class shit so we can give you the world-class accolades, bro.
Right. And again, don't nobody be clipping stuff that me and Clay said we don't think Abdullah Mason's going to win.
Will.
Me and Clay are picking Abdullah Mason to win. What we're trying to tell you guys is Joe Cordina is not being brought on to Cleveland, Ohio to be a
Joe Cordina is a more tried, true champion.
Former world champion. Yeah.
They're gonna clip that. They're gonna clip that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna kill us tomorrow. We heard
God.
Joe Cordina is more world class than Abdullah Mason. Is you out your rabbit mind, Angelo? You are casual.
Right, exactly. No, we're just trying to tell you guys. Like, and if anything, this will be fun for me, because for Abdullah Mason, that show that the Zone's going to put out, which will be the first rollout on 4th of July weekend, while people are at home doing barbecue or whatever they're doing, it's going to be free on regular cable television in America on TNT. This is the biggest stage Abdullah Mason's ever been on. He's going to be at home in Cleveland.
The biggest stage anybody in his class has ever been on, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, hold on though. I guess you're not including Shakur, right? Like, yeah, because
Shakur's not in his class. Yeah, Shakur is.
Okay.
I'm talking about in his.
Right, okay, all right, I got you. You're talking about the young group, right?
Jr.,
Yeah.
Andy Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Those guys.
Yeah. No, and you're absolutely right. And then there is that, right? Appetite for Smoke, I think, is 22. So at 22 years old, young man, do you have the maturity to be able to be calm and not overplay your hand? Because
in your home city?
Because we did see you get dropped by the guy with the hair, Vasquez.
Yeah, Johan Vasquez.
Johan Vasquez, right? We saw that. Man, you better hope Joe Cordina doesn't do that to you, because he's a lot better than Vasquez. So,
and I promise you, Joe Cordina know how to protect the lead. So don't let that happen.
Right. So we're just saying, we're picking you to win, but can you be calm this time?
But that means get up on them cards. You're gonna find it hard to find his ass. I bet you.
Oh man. But anyway, no. We were kind of on that for a second. No, this Fabio Wardley card is super exciting. We can't keep going without talking about the fact that David Morrell got the co-main event. You know, he was supposed to fight Callum Smith. Callum Smith got injured. So then they're given, and again, man, I don't want to call it what it is, but David Morrell fighting. Well, David Morrell fighting a dude named Zak Chelli. 16 wins.
Talk to us about Zach, man. I don't know him, bro. Talk to me. Come on, Angelo. Why you laughing, bro? Chill, bro. Can't you be on Biden? Can't you be on for 1 minute and just tell us about this guy? Jesus.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing, guys. So shout out to Zak Chelli. Zak Chelli.
Salute Zak Chelli, bro.
He's going to be 29 later this year, so he's only 28 years old right now.
Young bull, man.
So he's a young bull, and he's hungry. And probably his best performance in a loss was against Caleb Simpson.
Okay.
I think it was on Sky Sports. And if I'm not mistaken, that was at 168 pounds.
Right.
So right off the bat, I'm telling you that the guy's smaller. Okay. All right. Now,
he must be a slick guy.
He's a tough dude. If anybody's gonna outslick anyone, it'll be Morrell outslicking Zak Chelli. Right now, here's the thing about Zak Chelli. Okay, you know how you were saying the word domestic level. Okay, so Zak Chelli's not even a domestic champion. So if we're talking about a domestic level, so you got a former interim world champion with a huge Olympic background in David Morrell, fighting a less than domestic champion, Zak Chelli. All respect to Zak Chelli, bro, but David Morrell, let me tell you something right now. If you don't knock Zak Chelli out, you better never say the words Ben Whitaker coming out of your mouth ever again, bro. You better not. Because I promise you know what Ben Whitaker would do to Zak Chelli? Zak Chelli might not make it out of the first round if he fought Ben Whitaker, bro. So, David, I'm not trying to tell you to knock him out in the first round, because honestly, I've never even really seen you knock anyone out in the first round. I'm just saying this better not look like the Kataev fight. This better not look like the Kataev fight where you were fighting for your life, hoping to get a decision, bro. All right?
Or fighting with Hot Rod when you were frustrated because you couldn't deal with Hot Rod being slick and sticking you with that jab, even though you won the fight. But a lot of people was like, right. He struggled with Hot Rod, bro. He definitely struggled with him.
Right. So again, man, like, look, I don't want to say this guy is tailor-made for you, but I'm just saying, you talking a lot about.
You ain't lying, man. David Morrell ain't got a lot. He got one first round knockout, bro, and that was his first fight.
Yeah. No, that's why it's like
But it's just one. No, he got a couple. He got a couple.
Yeah. But David Morrell, you are what you are, bro, and that's fine. And go focus on making sure you beat Callum Smith, because I'm not even sure you can do that.
Well,
right?
listen,
Callum Smith gave a hell of a fight to Joshua Buatsi.
100%, man. David Morrell has a pedigree about him, and the thing about it is, when I look at David Morrell personally, what I see is somebody who got very comfortable having a good time in the ring, trying to be a showboater, try to have a good time. But he does come from that Cuban background, you know what I mean, that Cuban background in boxing, and he's recognized that way. That's why Shakur was saying what he said about David Morrell, right? So I think what I'm looking forward to see David Morrell do in this fight is be more serious, be more disciplined, be more structured, work with, I don't know if he's still working with Ronnie Shields. I'm assuming he is, because I haven't heard that they're going in a separate direction. But I know Ronnie's been trying to rein in David Morrell since they got into the light heavyweight division. Been trying to like, hey, bro, no. Hey, work behind that jab. Get straighter with your shots, shorter with your punches. Stop showboating. Stop taking these chances and playing games, because Andy Cruz has a habit of doing that too. But Andy Cruz has been reined in. He's actually become way more disciplined in that Raymond Mortai fight. Normally he's playing around, but he's been popped in his mouth enough to where he stopped doing that shit. I'm wondering if David Morrell has had enough of those experiences in the light heavyweight division, fighting against Hot Rod, fighting against David Benavidez, fighting against Katayev to a point to where he becomes a little bit more structured, working behind with those physical attributes he has, and yes, getting rid of this Zak Chelli dude, bro. Making short work of him. Don't play with your food, and don't make him look like more than he is. If he's domestic and your work world class, I want to see that in the ring. I want to see a world-class guy take care of a domestic guy. I don't want all of a sudden the domestic guy to be like, if we're walking away from that fight going, Max Shelby might be world-class, there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? If we're saying,
it's Zak Chelli, by the way, but it's all right, Clay.
Sorry, all right. We're sitting here going, bro, I don't know, bro. I'd like to see him in the ring with somebody. Maybe he should fight Joshua Buatsi. If we having conversations like that, something went wrong. Something went wrong in the fight, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
and I mean, it makes it even worse for David Benavidez, because that's one of the wins that you guys always credit David Benavidez with. Oh, bro, David Benavidez beat David Morrell. Okay, well, if David Morrell does not put away Zak Chelli, just remember that David Morrell also knocked down David Benavidez. Those are just facts, man.
Listen, man, he can be slick. He can punch. He can do a lot of things. I want him to showcase that. I want him to show us the wrinkles. I want him to show us the adjustments. I want him to show the other side. You know, Ben Whitaker did that, by the way, right? Ben Whitaker was a showboater, but then he got upset. He had a bad experience with Liam Cameron, and he got with Andy Lee, and all of a sudden this dude is straight with his shots. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in his guard, stabbing you to the body, hooking off to the body, setting shots up and getting you the hell up out of here and showing you like, yeah, there's that other part of me. There's that other part. You know what I mean? I'll be having a good time, but then there's the other part.
Right. And we haven't really seen David Morrell with that other part yet. Right. You know, I mean, we saw him trying to do it with David Benavidez. I guess that would be the closest.
But even then, he played a little too much. A lot of talking, and then you know what he did with David Benavidez? He kept his hands in his pocket a little too much at times. And I saw Ronnie struggling with him in the corner. You know what I'm saying? I saw Ronnie still struggling with him, trying to get him to do what he wanted him to do. So I want to see them melt together a little bit better. Because Ronnie's just a serious dude, bro. He don't really get into all the games and stuff like that. So, you know, he needs to be on that type of game.
Is Morrell with Salas now? Okay. I'm gonna have to look it up. We thought he was with Ronnie Shields. We thought he was with Ronnie Shields. So
he was at first. He was at first. He was with Ronnie Shields for a while.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll look it up, man.
Ronnie probably walked away from him from playing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we don't want to give you guys wrong information. I thought he was with Ronnie Shields when he fought Katayev. So maybe he switched after the Katayev fight. I don't know.
Switched, bro.
Yeah.
He must have just switched.
Yeah.
But
all right. Hey, no problem. Everybody can have an opinion, bro. Everybody can have an opinion. That's all right. Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If David Morrell does not put Zak Chelli away, no problem. He needs to keep Ben Whitaker's name out his mouth. That's what he needs to do. He needs to keep that man's name out his mouth. He needs to focus on Caleb Smith. So, but yeah, and then the whole card, Clay. So first of all, are we, do you plan on opening up the channel to do a watch party that starts at, and I'm going to tell you the time before you say yes.
Okay.
The watch party on Saturday morning or Saturday would have to start at 1 p.m. your time.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good for that. I'll be home. Look.
Okay.
Yeah, so he started late 2025, early 26. He switched over to Ismail Salas. But yeah, he's been with Ronnie Shields for the lion's share of his career. He just
just switched. Okay, he just switched. All right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. We want to always be factually correct for you. Yeah, I ain't hearing no.
I mean, Akeem, I kind of hear what you're saying to the degree, and I'm gonna tell you why, but at the same time, no. But I'm gonna say why, because he's in a great place right now to where it looks like he's on the verge of getting a title shot. Like he was just getting ready to fight Caleb Smith for an interim title, which would have put him in position to potentially fight a David Benavidez or Dimitri Bivol. So I understand that the win is the most important thing right now. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's not going to be able to compete with those dudes, bro, if he can't make weight to this guy. He has to show improve, bro. He has to show improve because he needs to get better for the championship fights. He needs to be better. So, yeah, bro, like I said, if he's in there with somebody domestic, I want him to look world-class. If he is world-class and he's talking about world-class things, I want him to look world-class in the ring. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Let me see.
Yeah, no, you got
Clay. He was asked to not return to the gym due to the outer ring issues. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I know Coach Ronnie Shields, bro. I know he don't play, bro. He don't play, bro. If he playing games, that's why Jamal had to break bread with him and bring him the glove, bring him the belt, and make up with him because Coach Ronnie Shields ain't playing no games. If you acting like you too good, he's not one of those coaches that's a yes man. He's not like what Derek James was doing, Ryan Garcia. When you saw Derek James sitting on the floor going like this, because Garcia was sitting there playing around in the bag. Ronnie's been like, if you don't get the hell out my gym and don't never come back, bro, I might shoot at you, bro. You need to get up out my gym, disrespect my gym like this. He ain't playing. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Now, Akeem or any of you guys, man, you want to say something then. There's the link. You can say something. Say to our face. Go ahead.
There it is. Say something because we about to go in a second, too. So, hurry up and say something.
Yeah,
I gotta go
but no. And so then before you go, then, and again, there's a lot of good undercards on this. I'm interested in seeing Bakhtir Jalilov. I think that's going to be great. He's one of the main players, 16-0 right now, with I think like 16 knockouts or 14 knockouts. But it'll be nice to see his trajectory in the heavyweight division. Jalilov has already openly spoke up yesterday and said, I expect to see Moses in the next 2 years. So looks like maybe there's another player right there. So yeah, you guys should watch the card. It's on the Zone. On the Zone for the West Coast people. It's going to be on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. For the East Coast people, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Saturday. So Akeem, go ahead, bro.
Akeem. You muted, bro. You muted, fam. Okay.
Yes, sir. Look at that. Just when I thought I was done, y'all pulled me back in.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Nah. I remember we had that talk. Just real quick. Yeah, I respect Morrell. Like just let him get this win, bro. Like he needs fine tuning, but a lot of these dudes need fine tuning, man. Let him get this dub, and then we gonna figure that part out. Because with this whole boxing, the space of business and all kinds of things, people ducking, people pivoting, people doing everything they can to just get paid and not fight. Let's get this fight and get this win. And like I wouldn't even yes, he called out Ben Whitaker, but bro, come on. We know Eddie Hearn not even matching that. He's not even looking at that. Only way Eddie Hearn is looking at that if that's really food. If he looks like food in the ring, then yeah, Eddie gonna tell Whitaker go get that. But other than that, like, bro, this joint looking like exhibition boxing out here. Like we gotta fill this card and we gotta get some wins. What I wanted to ask you guys, but y'all started talking about it. That Wardley, my whole thing with Wardley is he starts from behind. He's damn near losing the damn fight.
Yeah, we talked about that. Sure, yeah.
Then he takes care of business. But with Dubois, like, if Dubois loses this fight, he got to put the mitts down, bro. Like, who the hell do y'all want to see Dubois fight if he loses this fight?
I mean, Dubois carries that Derek Chisora energy potentially a little bit where he can have losses, but because he's such an exciting fighter and he's such a big knockout artist, he can still get work. per se, but yeah, this victory is very important for him. If he's still talking about, becoming a champion and unifying and still, getting the big fights and being in the big conversations, he needs to make work. He needs to get back in the winning column. The good thing about Dubois is he normally don't lose 2 times in a row either, right? Like if he loses, you know what I'm saying, and his record says he only loses to great fighters. Even Joe Joyce in that time period was the more.
Oh, he was the juggernaut, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, at that time,
Yeah.
like, because I know people might look at what he did with, in his recent fights and be like, who that guy? He lost him. No, when he
when he was the man,
he was the man,
shit.
right?
Oh,
Joe was the guy.
shit.
So he doesn't lose to just anybody. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you. I think that Fabio Wardley has to, like I said, I'm not going to be long-winded about it. Just be world class on Saturday, bro.
Right.
You got a
the only thing
be world class.
Yeah, no, the only thing I'll push back on, Akeem, and I appreciate the comment, but see, this is the problem with the old sanctioning body style and one boxing space is wins and losses somehow dictate whether or not you should stay on. Daniel Dubois, 28, bro. He is almost 3 years younger, like 2.5 years younger than Fabio Wardley. And you're asking this guy that if he loses to the current WBO world champion, that he should pack it up. Why? Because he fought a great fight? No. If anything, who do I want to see Daniel Dubois fight next if he loses to Fabio Wardley? Everybody, Akeem. I want to see him fight everybody. I want to see him fight the winner or loser of Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torres. I want to see him fight Murat Gasayev. I'd like to see him fight Moses Itama. I'd like to see him fight Jared Anderson. And that's the thing is, like, we can't do that to these fighters. We can't pack them up.
Yo, the Mandalorian, I need to see your face.
Akeem, we can't just pack them up. Like, we can't do that. I would understand if this was Deontay Wilder and he was fighting Wardley and he got knocked out. Well, Wilder's almost 41, bro. So, or 40 or whatever, right? But yeah, man, we can't do that. We can't do that. Daniel Dubois will be just fine.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
What's good, family?
Yeah, I'll be calling in the what you call it.
You can go back to your regular sky. I just need to make sure you was a person and not some dude in there with a
no.
dildo.
No. I'll be calling in the TBV. Like I'm big boss on here.
No doubt, family. What's good with you, King?
Hey, hey, first thing first, play. Hey, I told I told this, hey, shout out to him for putting me on you. Man, look, Angelo, you and Clay, bro, I love y'all. Y'all the dynamic duo on here for real. Like, bro, y'all be killing it, Clay. I tell him, bro, I don't watch your show a few times, but bro, you and Angelo, bro, y'all show is legit insanely entertaining. Like, I legit love it. Like, there don't be no bullshit, nothing. Y'all be straight to it, man. Now, look, man. From the little bit I had caught on to, I probably only caught on to probably like the last about hour almost. But yeah, man, so, like I won't like fully put it out. But yeah, David Morrell, he my second favorite fighter behind Shakur. So yeah, like I talked to like people in his camp and stuff were real close to him, so yeah, you was right, Clay, because I actually never knew, like I was like, he just sort of went off the rails like after the Benavidez fight and stuff. And yeah, like you said, Clay, you're right. Though. Yeah, Ronnie Shields, he just don't play. He was like, listen, it's my way or it's the doorway. And, couldn't get right, so he got put out of there, and that's So I'm hoping he got it together. I know he's still kind of a little back and forth at the moment now, but it seems like he on the straight and narrow though, like from what I done heard and stuff. But hey, I'm with you, Angelo. I'm completely with you, Angelo. I need Chelly in his PJs by 4 p.m. and I need him tucked in by 6 p.m.
Yeah,
at the least,
warm bottle of milk.
Very least.
PJs
now the reason I do say that though, like with what Angelo was saying though, like the reason I do say that though, because I know how Salas is. Salas wants you to take your time. Like we seen what he did with Rolly. He wants you to box a little bit. Even when Adamas was rocking the hell out of ammo. Cause see, I know that too. That was Dave Morrell's main spar partner. He been getting ready for when he was fighting, getting ready to fight Cali. So I think my boy ready, which that's some good sparring. Cause Adamas, he got that good head movement. You seen him with Shiraz. So I'm with you though, Angelo, for sure. Like, but I think Salas, he like to make him take his time. Cause like you were saying, Clay, you looked it up. I remember when he won that. I think that was like cause I've been rooting for him since the very beginning. His second fight in like 2019 or something, whatever that was, when he won that WBA regular title and he knocked the dude out in the second round. I was hooked since then. I was like, cause his level changes is like
his level changes only probably Tank up there with him and Bam up there. Like Morrell to me, he probably like top 5 level changes in the sport. But like y'all say, I do notice that he do be that lacking that focus. He do be lacking that focus. I ain't gonna lie, Clay. My heart was stomping watching that damn Katayev fight.
Right.
My heart was thumping over here, man. I was like, I'm like you said, he winning the whole round. Then at the end, he backing up in a straight line, drop his hands, bam, get dropped. I'm like, come on now,
Yeah, when you find those disciplined Eastern Europeans, bro, you got to be on your game, bro, because they'll catch you up.
Sure.
I'm a Bud Crawford fan, and I tell people all the time, Bud Crawford's exposure to Eastern Europeans helped him be who he is, bro. When he got in the ring with Madrimov got him ready for Canelo. Those Eastern Europeans are straight and arrow disciplined, bro. You look at them all, they all very disciplined. Same thing with even like a playful person like Oleksandr Usyk. He's playful, but not in that ring, bro. He don't play boxing when he get in there, bro. He's on his P's and Q's. So, that's what happened with Katayev. He found somebody who just wasn't going to bite on all the feints, who wasn't going to get frustrated and caught up in all the playing, and who's, like you said, you back up with your chin in the air, he going to catch you because he's programmed to catch you in the holes you leave open. He's programmed to do that. So you can't play.
If people was tripping on me over that fight, man, I said, I ain't worried because I'm not one of those who be scared. I actually wanted a rematch because I'm like, they was in the firefight, and I'm like, sometimes sometimes you just gotta, like they say, you just gotta take your ball and go home, Clay, because that motherfucker Taya was getting hit like what Angelo just said, with the sledgehammer, with the regular hammer, with the damn 2x4. Morrell was hitting him with every damn thing at the end of that fight, and that motherfucker was eating that shit like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He was rocked in that last round. I thought we was gonna get a race forward over Komatov, but that motherfucker ate every punch that was coming his way. I don't know how he did it, but. So, yeah, man, I'm with you, though, full-fledged. Now, I personally, Clay, I am back and forth. I get it what y'all saying, man, but I'm like I was telling this the other day, like, I just can't get past, like, how y'all was talking about it, Angelo. Fabio Wardley is literally that Wilder. He that UK Wilder. Like, Frank Warren, I told him after the fight, when he fought Hooney, Frank Warren said, I was telling him, just throw the damn right hand. He was like, don't aim it, just throw the damn thing. He was like, as soon as he threw it, let's get connected. And Hooney just went down. I'm like, I just don't know, man. I'm like, I told Ness, I said, remember, Clay, y'all remember Angelo when Mikey Garcia, they asked him, why you fighting Errol Spence? He said, I see something. Man, Fabio Wardley, he know that chin there to be cracked. He know that chin there to be cracked. Like, he just know it, and I feel like he gonna go for it. Like, Fabio he could move in there. Fabio a little nimble. And then I heard that part, too, when you was talking about it, Angelo, you're right. He had that, him and Fabio Wardley, him and Freddie Clark, damn near like to kill themselves. They had a rematch. He came back and dislocated his damn cheekbone from his orbital bone from his jawbone in 30 seconds. Yeah, so hey man, I don't know, man. I'm rocking with Fabio Wardley, man. I'm thinking he gonna get it done. This card overall, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like this card might stand toe to toe with this PBC card we just had last week. This card is extremely underrated because Jack Raffin and Echo Usman, they gonna try and kill themselves too. I know you got Gavin Wood. I know he moving up. Of course, you got Liam Cameron. Like, he, like you were saying, Angelo, he was putting his hands on Ben Whitaker, and Ben Whitaker had to Royal Rumble suplex him out of the ring to get up out of there. So, look, man, I'm right.
You know what happened. Yeah. You know what happened. It is what it is.
Yeah. That was one of them things, like they say, it's a little too much. Like I said, Clay, you got to take your ball and go home. Ben Whitaker, like, this is my way out of here. We were rumbling this thing, and we getting out of here, man. We gonna regroup because he got more than our bargain for us, man. Yeah. I appreciate y'all. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the Mandalorian. No, we really, really appreciate you, bro, and we can tell that you're a very knowledgeable boxing fan, and you love the game, and you're watching it all. So we absolutely love that. Hey, before you go, can I ask you? So you brought up the Ben Whitaker thing. After that incident, you noticed that he went with Andy Lee. He's sitting down now. He's just focused. He's not playing his food like what Terrence Crawford told him. Don't play with your food, bro. Just do your thing, right? Now you're just putting people away. Do you believe that David Morrell has that same type of ability and power? That if he just quits messing around, like just sit in your punches and put someone away. Do you think Morrell can show us that against Zak Chelli?
So I do. I hope they don't kick my ass for this. So I think So I think also too, he probably more so, like, of course, like y'all said, I know that hot rod fight, I do think it was tougher than he expected, but I do think he won that 7-5. Definitely was tougher than he bargained for and all that stuff and everything. But even after that, I remember that. I remember talking to the people in his camp again. They told me even after that, though, he focused up with that. He actually brought Hot Rod back in, and they worked with each other. He was like, he's trying to correct everything that he, was lacking and everything. But he was, I ain't gonna lie, he was chasing David. I think when he fought David, he literally only cut like 12 pounds or something crazy. They say he came into camp like 181. So, he was small, well, not even that. Like I said, 12 pounds, so less than that. He was basically too small for light heavyweight at the moment. But, that's why I always say, hey, I'm so glad because I was watching that press conference earlier. They was talking about, they was like, you see what Benavidez did, so you got a champion Morrell. And I said, people did not give my boy credit because he did what he said he was going to do. They was in there slugging. And I always say, like Clay, you and Angelo was just saying, y'all was talking about how you drop him. I said, but people don't realize, though. I said, you do got to have power to even, like, make David Benavidez one up, like, okay, let me focus up. Because people don't look at that second round. It was a left hand Morrell hit David Benavidez in with that second round. Benavidez almost fell back like into the corner. His eyes like said, "Wow, okay, this like we gonna have to fight." Okay, yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta fight." Yeah, like you can even see in the post press conference.
Whenever we see a smile or we see somebody go like this, we know it mean like this, and we know the smile is upside down. We know what you're doing is you're acknowledging that lick that hit your ass. Like, boy, okay.
It's like, yeah, no, he hit. Like, yeah, I'm in for a long night. I'm gonna have to focus up here. So yeah, I do think that Angelo too, because this last time I said I remember before the Wardley fight on YouTube. Like, I tell people all the time, Angelo, like you said, I watch everything. I drive like Clay knows driving these semi trucks. You ain't got nothing but time. I be playing everything. So look, I was watching the part. I was actually watching. You can see that with Andy Lee and stuff. Andy, he is a more so of a teacher. And even like you saying, Angelo, getting more focused. You even see the difference. You said with Ben Whitaker, we see the difference with Hamza Shiraz. I told Hamza Shiraz, I was talking shit to him about it when I met him in September. I said, man, I said, I'm from Florida, man. You hurt my heart. Edgar was teaching and all that. It's all love.
Ouch. Yeah, I wanted to hear that, man. I ain't gonna lie. We go back in No doubt.
We appreciate.
Yeah, we got a bad connection. We got a bad connection, but we appreciate you, man. Definitely, we try not that's something I want to do now is just start throwing the link out there a little bit. I'm not going to pack out my panel, but one person at a time. You know what I'm saying? Bring them up. You definitely want to build and engage with the space a lot more, man. Fans
I appreciate it,
man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you, the Mandalorian, bro. We really do.
All right, brother. Until the next one, man. Peace.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So no, I mean they're great. I mean, yeah, like I was telling you on our I think it was Monday we did open, and that was really good crew, right? Really good group. Everybody's being respectful, staying in the pocket, talking boxing, and that's what we want it to be. So I'd be remiss before you go without us doing our reporting in that. We got to talk about Zufa Boxing, bro. It's their media day today.
Oh,
Zufa Boxing's on Sunday.
My time is crunch, bro. It's 5 o'clock, bro. You know what we'll do? I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to tell you what we'll do. We'll go up tomorrow night or evening, not night, like 6, 7. 6, 7, we'll go up. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to go 6, 7.
6, 7, my time. 6, 7 in that time. The thumbnail will go up. I'll let you know tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. No, because I don't want to do that, man. I mean, I want to make sure that we're cool with everybody.
No, we're going on tomorrow. I'm telling you, because I'm off tomorrow's. I'm off for the whole weekend. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got nothing to worry about Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? So
all right,
all right. Give me some sleep.
Guys, you heard it from Clay. We going up tomorrow about 6, 7. 6, 7.
Well, no, the thumbnail won't say 6, 7. It'll say 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying because I gotta go to sleep because I gotta drive tonight. So
right.
I mean, I gotta rest it up. But yeah, no, we do got a big Zufa card coming up on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We got Shane Mosley Jr. on that card. You know what I'm saying? And Suri Balchek and a pretty good undercard on there as well. So
great undercard, bro. Yeah, no, and Clay, and unfortunately, guys, Clay won't be able to do a watch party for that, but we'll report on it on the afterwards, probably Monday. But I'm gonna be there, so I'm gonna check out everybody. It'll be the last Zufa show on the Apex for a bit before it starts going into all the different venues and whatnot. So, but all right, Clay promised it. Tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow.
I got y'all. We got to build. We had a good show today, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. You know, support the grind. I haven't even looked at the likes, but I got a feeling because I know I ain't asked the whole show, so God knows what that shit looking like. But hit the damn likes and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, man. Guys, catch out early in the morning tomorrow at 9 in the morning. I got a premiere dropping, breaking down this Daniel Dubois Fabio Wardley fight, trying to get everybody up to speed with what I'm expecting to see, what I like. You know, and also giving a little, you know, background check on both these guys, man, so we can all get some perspective of what to look forward to seeing Saturday morning. You know? Yeah,
no, make sure you guys engage on all of those. The rain report on the video section. Me and Clay just did Read the Ring, which is popping right now, about David Benavidez and possibilities of Jai Apataya. So please check that out. It's on the video section right now. Shout out to our guy, Flyer Frequency, bro. Shout out to you. I wish you could have jumped in the panel earlier, but Clay promised we're doing another one tomorrow. And then the last thing I want to say, Clay, is Dragonfly Jones. So yes, this is an original hat. The green is for it's the color of organ donation, bro. And I'm a liver transplant survivor. I'm hoping to get to my 4th year without too many complications here. And yeah, man, I wear green a lot because it's to represent and show support for organ donation and everybody who supports organ donation, and just giving the education about it. And I want to tell you, on a boxing sense, you know who else does it? Jaron Boots Ennis. If you guys take a look at his title fight against Stanionis, he purposely did it. He did it on April Donate Life Month. He had the ribbon, he had the green and blue teal color on, because he supports organ donation too. So, anyways, appreciate you guys.
Salute to everybody in the building, man. Until the next one, y'all already know what it is. At this point, we out.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You